Now, there we go. Welcome along to the Arsenal versus Chelsea live watch-along. It has been a long season of FA Cup action, but it is finally ending tonight. And what a way with a London derby. Well, usually London would be ram-packed full of people today within the train stations, within the city, within the whole area of London. It's not as busy, of course, because of the coronavirus, but it certainly will be loud across London today as Arsenal take on Chelsea in this FA Cup final. And we have a special guest with us today. He is, of course, part of the Wrestling Corner podcast and the F1 Watchalongs. It's the legend that is Rowan. How are we?
I'm very good, Josh. Thank you. I'm looking for. I think if you watch football podcasts, you know I don't watch much football, but I love the FA Cup just because I think it's a tournament that you know your team has got a chance regardless of who you play. So and it's looking like a very tasty match. Both teams putting out strong sides.
Absolutely. I think the best way to put it is it's a very unified tournament in the fact that pretty much every team takes part, whether you're from League One, League Two, Championship. You all start out in this competition.
League.
Exactly. Right down to the bottom, you have the National League that takes part as well. And it's a very unified tournament, and we've seen big shocks over the last couple of years, big surprises. But I could guess you could say that this isn't really surprising, the fact that we do have two of the biggest teams in the Premier League in this final. One of them being Arsenal, who have featured a hell of a lot in these FA Cup finals. And the other one is Chelsea, who have had a fair few finals of their own in the last couple of years. Not just in the FA Cup, but the likes of the Champions League and the Europa League. So welcome to everybody who is joining us today. KL's in the stream. Go on, your legend. He says, Bloody Emile Sandé is on top of Wembley right now, and she actually is. What is going on? It's mental. She's stood right on the top right now, singing. I don't know what she's singing.
I saw the statue of is it out front of Wembley, Bournemouth?
I think so. It's Bobby.
I was like, that's not a top. It's a statue. I see her in a second.
Yeah, Rowan will be a little bit further behind. He's on BBC iPlayer on this. Of course, it's going to be a very exciting game, so I'm going to be a little bit further ahead than Rowan is. Should be all right today. So
yeah, who cares?
Welcome to everybody who has joined the stream. As I said, it's going to be a great game of football. Kickoff is in about 8 minutes' time, of course. It's a little bit different with the fans not being in the stadium. And I think before we do start this match, I've got some stats and some kind of things sorted out before we kick off. It's kind of worth having a look at these teams and how they've made it through the competition throughout the entirety of the FA Cup this year to see how they've made it through. So as you can see on the screen right now is the way that Arsenal have made it through throughout this competition so far. In the third round they played Leeds, very tight 1-0 win. It felt like a long time ago, that match. You know, good game of football. Leeds nearly did beat them on that day, but they went through with that slender 1-0 victory. In the fourth round they then faced off against Bournemouth away from home. Another tough game of football that came out with a very slender 2-1 win. Fifth round, they had a much easier game against Portsmouth, of course, of League One. 2-0 win there. Good goals in that one. I think there was a long-range strike from one of the youngsters. I think it was Saka, actually, who scored in the fifth round. Good result for them. Quarterfinals, that was quite recently. 2-1 win against Sheffield United. It was a tense game of football. Of course, Sheffield United scoring quite late in that to get an equaliser before Arsenal did score in the 90th minute, courtesy of Dani Ceballos. And then, of course, the semi-finals, 2-0 win versus Manchester City. A good result considering the situation that Arsenal are currently in. How important do you think this FA Cup final fixture is going to be for Arsenal, Rowan, considering they haven't got Europa League football as it currently stands? They finished mid-table in the Premier League. They desperately need a win tonight. I think we've had a bit of a cut-off there. It's gone very silent. So I'll keep plodding along here because it's gone quiet and I can't hear Rowan right now. Oh, it's the wonders of technology. So that is.
Well, I really think I'm here. I'm here.
It cut
Sorry.
off then.
I know. I don't know what happened there.
Oh.
I was just saying. I think it is big for both teams, especially both managers. It's their chance to win, sort of a major trophy for their club. I think all the pressure is on Arteta. Lampard sort of secured Champions League football for Chelsea, whereas Arteta hasn't got really anything for Arsenal. It's a big opportunity, but for me, I don't know if we're going to do predictions, but I can see Christian Pulisic being an absolute nightmare. We saw when he's come off the bench or when he's even started for Chelsea, he just seems like the most annoying player to play against, and I think that's going to be too much for Arsenal.
Absolutely. I mean, as you said before, we'll make our score predictions in a moment. The players are just coming out onto the pitch in the empty Wembley Stadium. In fact, I tell you what, we'll make score predictions now, just before kick-off, for this game. So what do you think the result's going to be for this match?
I really want to go for a Chelsea win, but I'm going to go... I'm going to go 0-0 after full time, 1-1 after extra time, Chelsea win on penalties.
Tight game. I went for the opposite. We kind of briefly talked about, before we went live actually, about the potential result of this game. And I just have a very, very slight feeling that this game is going to have goals. I think for Chelsea, there's not really a massive stake on the line in terms of winning it. You know, they're already into the Champions League next season, so technically speaking, it's not desperate to win it. But of course, it's always nice to win a trophy. I'm going to go 3-2. I think Arsenal have got to come out firing on all cylinders in this match. And it'll be interesting to see how Chelsea do, of course. As you said, Christian Pulisic, one of their star players. We talked about Arsenal's route through the FA Cup. How about Chelsea's route? You can see on the screen right now, this is how they've kind of have their pavement into the final. So in the third round, they had another Championship side. It wasn't Leeds this time. They had Nottingham Forest 2-0 win in the third round. Good result. Fourth round, they then had a very tight game of football against Hull City. It was a 2-1 win for Chelsea in that game, although Hull did definitely give them a good fight in that match. The fifth round, they beat Liverpool 2-0, of course. Liverpool don't really tend to take this competition very seriously at all. Put a weekend side out. Chelsea, of course, beat them. But either way, at the end of the day, beating Liverpool is still a big thing. Quarterfinals, it was a tight game against Leicester City. 1-0 victory, of course. And then a semi-final, they played Manchester United. A 3-1 win not too long ago. Fantastic result for them. A couple of David De Gea blunders for them puts them through into this final. As you said before, Christian Pulisic, a star player this season for Chelsea. Another player who's been a star, not just for Chelsea, but for Arsenal as well, is Olivier Giroud. Do you think he could come back tonight and haunt Arsenal?
He's one of them players who, when they need him, he steps up. He's going to be worried, because with a player like Olivier Giroud, he will have a dead game. He will play a game where he's nowhere to be found. But when that one ball comes in, he's there, ready and waiting. And it's going to be big for Martinez. A big chance for him to prove that he could... I don't think he could be the starter for Arsenal.
Do you really think so?
He's had some great performances in lockdown. This is his biggest chance. If he can stop Pulisic, your Mount, even Olivier Giroud when he gets that opportunity to score, he's really could cement his thing here. Who's Arsenal's backup goalkeeper? I know he's injured. Leno is great, but he's injured. If Martinez has a good showing, there's a chance. I mean, I think same with Caballero. I think the goalkeepers are the biggest part of this game. It's two keepers who, apart from maybe Martinez at the end of the season, but it's two keepers who haven't played like consistent football. They always play the cups and stuff.
Absolutely.
But with Leno being injured, and so there's always going to be that thing in the back of the head, like, well, he's been injured recently. Will he get injured again? Maybe we just keep on playing Martinez until we know Leno's fully fit. And then on the Chelsea side, Caballero, we know he's a good goalkeeper, and Kepa has not been performing to his price worth. So very interesting. I'm looking forward to it now. You've got me hyped up very well.
There's something about it. I don't know why. The FA Cup, you know,
it's the FA Cup.
It's the FA Cup. It's the excitement. I think the FA Cup's kind of stature has probably died down a little bit over the last couple of years. You know, you could probably go back 10 years ago when I think, in fact, Chelsea were actually playing in the final 10 years ago under the new Wembley, where, you know, things looked quite all right, and you know, the FA Cup was a big thing, and I think maybe people don't take it as seriously anymore as they used to, but it's still a big competition. There's still something on the line, and I think, no doubt, even if you're a Chelsea fan today, you really want your team to win it. They've just done a moment's silence, of course, part of COVID-19, and as well, it is the heads-up FA Cup final, which is to do with mental well-being, so I think there was a minute's silence for that too.
Have the players took a knee?
I think they do that at the start of the match, when the referee blows his whistle, I think.
It'll be interesting, because it's obviously a thing that's been still going on in sport. A lot of teams have done it. So I'll just be interested to see. Sorry.
It's always a very big talking point, because I know for some people they're not a massive fan of it. For others, of course, it's a very big movement right now, the Black Lives Matters thing. We'll find out what happens in a moment. Just very quickly before the game does start, a couple of stats for you. Arsenal, this is their 21st FA Cup final. This is more than any other side have played in the FA Cup final. They've also actually won the FA Cup more than any other side. They've won it 13 times, which is a very impressive stat. As for Chelsea, they've won 7 out of their last 9 finals. The 2 losses, they were both against Arsenal. And also, it's the 3rd time Arsenal and Chelsea have faced off against each other in an FA Cup final. No fixture has been played more than this game in the FA Cup final. So a couple of stats for you before this game does kick off.
I was going to say, I asked you, said like about Pulisic, who do you think is going to be the difference maker in this match? Who can really put a stamp on this game?
I think Aubameyang. If you're going to go for the blue side of Chelsea with Pulisic, I think this is a very, very big game for Aubameyang. Of course, we know he's been linked with moves away from the club. The pressure of them trying to get a Europa League spot, as they just do the kneel right now for BLM, so they are continuing with that movement. But I think for Aubameyang, technically speaking, we still don't know whether he's going to be there next season or not, although I do think he will be. But if he wants to put a marker for Arsenal and get them into the Europa League, this is the game where he could potentially do it.
It's big for Arteta. He's come under a lot of fire. I think Lampard has been positively praised on the media because he's got Chelsea in that Champions League, and Arteta hasn't done that with. I don't think it's a really a bad side as well. Arsenal do. They've got a good mix of youth and old and youth. It's going to be very interesting, but I mean,
it's a tough one, isn't it?
It's a tough one because both these teams are very even, especially Arsenal, a side who can win games, look very convincing one day, but then the game after look like a pile of. They look like a tractor, just slow and not getting anything. Like, it's very interesting. What's going to happen here?
And I mean, even Chelsea, at some points this season, they've had a very rough patch, of course. They only just got into the Champions League, technically speaking, on the final day, and this kind of last game beforehand, I think they were pretty much sealed a Champions League spot anyway. But they had moments in their season where they had their own ups and downs. Sometimes they were winning games. The next game they'd go and lose. I think there was a period where it was literally just win-loss, win-loss, win-loss. As for Arsenal, I think the best way to kind of put this is Chelsea are a team on a resurgence, while I think Arsenal are building for a resurgence more than anything. I think there's a long way for Arsenal to go. The game's kicked off now, by the way. We're a minute and a half in, so we'll keep you up to date with everything that happens. But Arsenal are a team that are building for the future, while I think Chelsea, they've not necessarily built a future now, but they've got the big players through the door that they want, as in Ziyech and Werner, of course. We still don't know whether Havertz is joining or not, but I think next season they'll be a much better side than they were this season.
Definitely. I wonder why Werner's not on the bench. So I'm sure he's eligible, right?
He wouldn't be eligible for this game.
Wouldn't it? Right.
Because it's still technically classed as the previous season's game, he wouldn't be allowed to play. It's crazy, isn't it? How long this season's gone on for? It's unbelievable. We've got an opportunity here, straight into the box. First chance of the game going to Arsenal. Maitland-Niles just on the left-hand side of the corner, flicking in across to Aubameyang at the near post. A little bit too far away from the goal to really be testing against Willy Caballero. But good chance there for Arsenal to take the lead in this one. Just kind of watching it back there, just keeps it in play and flicks it in. And Aubameyang, it's a good kind of cross into the box, but I don't think Aubameyang was necessarily expecting it to go in that early, so he can't really adjust his body in time to whip that into the back of the net. But Willy Caballero, what a chance for him today as well in goal. You said before, both teams have had goalkeeper problems. Of course, Arsenal's is more down to injury than anything. They've been linked with Oblak for next season. Is there any way back for Kepa now, or do you think that is it? He's done as a Chelsea player?
I think if Oblak comes in, definitely done, obviously. The thing is, he's not a bad goalkeeper. He's just very error-prone, and I think this all stemmed from, obviously, the big issue where he refused to come subbed off, and it's sort of just been downhill since then. I think there was a point where he had a major loss of confidence, and then he just hasn't built himself back up. I think if Oblak does come in, Kepa obviously goes. I think Kepa goes back to if he goes back to the La Liga, or even goes to just a new league where he can gain his confidence. He's in a different country where there won't be as much media pressure on him, just because we know the British media, they are very hounding. They like to target a player. And so go to a foreign league where maybe not La Liga, because we know the media are very harsh there. But just go to a league where he can prove himself. Not prove himself, but rebuild himself.
He's still so young as well. That's the thing. He's not,
Yeah.
26, 27, or even in his late 30s or anything where he can't adapt as a goalkeeper. He's got so much time to build himself back up to level. We've seen players before where they've had a great period, whether they be a goalkeeper or not, where they're incredible for a couple of years, then they die down, and then they actually have a resurgence later on in their career. I'm just trying to think of a couple of players off the top of my head that kind of had that. I mean, you could technically say to a certain extent. Older players like Fabio Quagliarella in Italy, he was quite well known back in his day. And as he's got older, he's got better. And Kepa is so young; it's a very different position to a striker, midfielder, centre back. But he's got loads of time to build up.
He was very not thrust in, but at such a young age to be in that situation and basically stepping up, saying, "I'm not going off. I'm staying on for the club."
Got a good chance here for Chelsea. Lofted into the box, back heel from Giroud is in the box, and we have a goal. Chelsea are in the lead after 5 minutes, and it's Christian Pulisic. Just as you said about the man, the American, he's gone into the box and he's scored, and we have the first goal of the game. Chelsea are 1-0 up, and well, they were knocking on the door. They had actually an opportunity a moment ago from Mason Mount just on the edge of the box, which he curled. A great save from Emi Martinez, and Mikel Arteta is scratching his head because I don't know how Christian Pulisic has been let through. It's really, really poor defending from Arsenal, and Olivier Giroud with a back heel. That is outstanding.
Told you when he needs to step, Olivier Giroud does it. So I'm not actually on the goal yet, but I can talk you through it. I think this is through it. It starts off with sort of an Arsenal attack, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, ball goes through. Yeah, I'm very far behind, but when the goal goes in, I can tell you what I think happened.
Well, just looking now, Lampard, he's delighted. He's not getting too excited. We are, of course, only about 5 minutes into this match, but what a lovely goal.
I think the big thing for Chelsea now is don't get complacent. You've gone up early, very early. So if they can just keep momentum now. Even keep it at 1-0 for a good half an hour. I'm just seeing the thing. Pulisic is given so much. That's great. That's a great by Olivier. Sorry, I've just seen the goal now. But no one watched Olivier Giroud, just simple back heel, but no one watches Pulisic.
No, I mean, the back heel is pretty much what puts everyone off there. It's such a lovely back heel into Pulisic. And the instant minute he's got the ball, he's in.
Does he go past? Is it Holding he goes past?
Yeah, he goes straight past Holding. And by the time he's past Holding, there is no way that Emi Martinez is going to be able to stop him. And
no.
Do you know what? We've had a couple of decent chances here. Chelsea, with a long shot effort from Mason Mount. Could have technically already been 2-0. Arsenal had a good effort. Lively start.
Yeah, it's a great build-up play from... Pulisic starts his own goal. Plays a lovely ball through to Mount. Mount holds it up enough that if it goes to Olivier Giroud, lovely flick on for Pulisic. Pulisic has to just flick it past... I think that's past Tierney. And then great finish. Martinez couldn't do anything.
Certainly a good goal indeed. 1-0 Chelsea. As you can see, of course, the lineups are on the screen. On the left-hand side is the Arsenal lineup. On the right-hand side, you've got the Chelsea lineup, both playing today. 3-4-3 formation they've both gone for, which is interesting because I don't think we've tended to have the 3-4-3 played a great deal. I think Arsenal in the last couple of weeks, towards the end of the season, were starting to play that, of course, with a couple of injuries. Of course, Mustafi out for the end of the season and the beginning of the next season. I think Tierney had a couple of injuries before a couple of weeks ago when the Premier League actually first came back.
Yeah.
And Chelsea as well, going back to the 3-4-3, which was very, very recognised when Antonio Conte was there.
I mean, Chelsea have got quite a solid backline. And there, I say, with Kurt Zouma, Rudiger are reliable. The reliable centre-backs, you sort of trust in them. And then you've got Tomori on the bench. And Christensen, who I feel like has been around for so long. I don't think he's super old, isn't he?
No,
so
he's in his mid-20s.
He had that stint in Bundesliga when he was younger, which sort of... I knew him from FIFA. That's what I found out about Christensen. It's how I found out about a lot of my players. But this Chelsea front three are looking lively.
Yeah, you will see it in a moment, actually. Arsenal very lucky there that they didn't give Chelsea the chance through on goal. But as you said, Christensen is not actually in the starting lineup today. Very, very... I think, what's the best way to put it? Very steady player in terms of form.
Yeah.
Is probably the best way to put it.
If you need someone to come in and just be that replacement centre-back for a game, if there's a suspension, Christensen's that.
Oh, absolutely. He's not a bad shout. You know, for a lot of teams, he probably would be a starting centre-back. You know, as you said before, he did have a spell at Gladbach on loan in the Bundesliga where he kind of built himself up as a player. Then he did come back to Chelsea, had a kind of couple of moments where he was in the starting lineup, and now he's back to being not necessarily in that starting 11 again, more on the bench and coming on. But he's a very, very good player, and even as you said before about the other centre-backs, Kurt Zuma was linked with a move to Everton at the beginning of the season, didn't move and he stayed, and I think that was a good decision. And Rudiger as well, he's had his ups and downs at the club, but I guess every player has, and he's still a very pivotal centre-back.
Yeah, I'm just looking at sort of the players that Chelsea have got out on loan that next season they can bring back as sort of to bring that youth back in. You've got Kennedy who's out on loan at Getafe, but is there an option to buy for Kennedy?
There is indeed, I think.
Yeah, you've got Musonda at Vitesse. Musonda who's sat in Belgium for a while, not having the best season, but not having the worst. You've got then Ethan Ampadu at Leipzig, who when the lockdown came back, Ampadu played a couple of games for Leipzig in sort of the moments when they needed him, and he was a reliable player. Bakayoko at Monaco. Again, Bakayoko, he was a good player, but just can't get looking in that great Chelsea midfielder. And then you look at the defence out on loan. No really established name. Matt Miazga, the American who I feel like's been at Chelsea for donkey's years now.
Yeah, they've got a lot of players who've been there for years, just sat on loan. I think Van Ginkel as well, the Dutch midfielder. He's been out on loan for what feels like a century.
His career.
It's mad, isn't it? Arsenal got an opportunity here, running through on goal. It's Maitland-Niles again, who's certainly had a good start to this game. First 10 minutes, gets the ball to Aubameyang. This is right on the edge of the box, near the corner flag. Aubameyang just tried to whip it into Lacazette, and the referee has given... he's actually said play on. I think the Chelsea players expected a free kick on the edge of the box. Good chance to hit this. It's now whipped into Nicolas Pepe, who tries to get it to Lacazette inside of the box from across, and it's cleared away. And we've got a corner here for Arsenal, and first chance there for Nicolas Pepe to make something.
A really fast-paced start to the game. You see Chelsea going up with Mason Mount and Pulisic at that pace. Obviously, Giroud doesn't have the pace, but they don't need that when you've got Mount and Pulisic on both sides feeding balls through. And same with Chelsea, you've got Aubameyang, Nick Pepe, and Lacazette. Maitland-Niles is quick. It's going to be a very high-intensity game. I've just seen that Pulisic shot earlier. I think if he squares that across, who's out on the wing? I think it's Mason Mount.
It would have been Mason Mount.
A bit of space. Yeah.
We've got the corner here for Arsenal, then it's going to be whipped in by, I think, Nicolas Pepe, who tries to get it towards the back post to David Luiz, but he's hit it a little bit too high, and well, it's an absolute waste of a corner there from the Ivorian forward, as you can see, the lineup on the left-hand side. Arsenal's front three of Nicolas Pepe, Lacazette and Aubameyang. It's an interesting one. Lacazette, I think it's worth talking about. Was the big signing that Arsenal made a couple of years ago, came in from Lyon, was a very, very good striker at the time. His form has dropped off quite a lot, I would say, since the Lyon days, and even when he first came into Arsenal, he was banging in the goals. I think it's an interesting topic. Do you think Arsenal need to next season maybe look at bringing in another striker potentially? Because
I don't know, because Lacazette is a great. We saw him at Lyon. He was their main man, and it worked. Obviously, it's League One, and it's a very different league to the Premier League. If you're a League One fan, I apologise, but it is less competitive. It's strange when you talk about Lacazette being a second striker, because he could probably go to a lot of teams and be their main. There's something about Arsenal which I don't know what hasn't clicked with him. I don't know what it is with him, but yeah. Maybe if it is another, talk about players moving, maybe it's another transfer, Lacazette, to go be that main striker at a different club, because he's always going to be in Aubameyang's shadow.
Absolutely, and that's the thing. I mean, of course, whether Aubameyang does stay or not, I think more than likely he will stay no matter what happens today. I think his mind's already made up. But, you know, as you said, Lacazette will always be in his shadow. 9 out of 10 of the clubs would take him on as a main striker. I think he was linked with Atletico Madrid a fair couple of times. And no doubt there he would have been a main striker. But I just feel like, I think it's an interesting one, you know, whether any Arsenal fans would agree or disagree, whether they would actually go out and try and sign another striker. I mean, the problems you could say is money-wise, they're not going to have a great deal of money, especially if they don't win this game tonight. You know, currently losing this one, they won't have Europa League football. And at the same time, if you sell Lacazette, you're probably not going to get somebody even now still as good as what he is, because he could still grab your goals, maybe not to the extent of what he has before, but he still gets goals.
If you look in all competitions, he scored 20 goals. 13 in the Premier League. Aubameyang's on 22 in the Premier League. So obviously there is a clear gulfing difference, but he's still scored goals for them. And he's not like he's in single figures. He's in that double figure range. He's got a couple of assists to his name. It's a tough one because I don't think he deserves to leave Arsenal. I think he deserves to be there. But if it's a chance for him, if he doesn't want to be in the shadow of a player, he does have to go because Aubameyang will always be that leading man.
And that's the thing, is whether he wants to become a starting striker or not, to whether he will stay. I think, again, just like Aubameyang, he will stay. We've had the first yellow card of the game. It's gone to Jorginho. A tackle a little bit too far out from goal to strike.
Yeah, he went in a bit there.
I thought at first maybe they were checking for a red card at first because they stopped playing for quite a while, but got a bit of dancing play here.
Well, there was one earlier where Kovacic and Xhaka just lunged into each other. I'm surprised that was given nothing. Both players went down.
And that's
ballerina.
That's the thing. It's a derby as well, so he's going to get feisty. And I guess it's referee's discretion or not whether to start handing cards out from the start and say to the players, right, we've already got a yellow card in the first kind of 10 or 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
We're not here to mess about. Yeah. Or whether he's going to be like, I'll let it kind of for the first 15, 20 minutes, let the little tackles go. But we've got a free kick here for Arsenal once again, a little bit close to goal this time.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say it's about 25, 30 yards out. A couple of players standing over this. David Luiz, who you probably would expect to take this, uses knuckleball technique. Pepe as well. And Aubameyang was standing over it, but he's been basically told to move away from it. And Dani Ceballos as well too, on loan from Real Madrid.
But did you say Jorginho got a yellow card?
He did indeed. Or was it
Chelsea on 2? Well, Kovacic got one earlier, but if you're ahead, because I hadn't had a free kick where Aubameyang's standing over, so Chelsea already on 2 yellows.
There you
so
go.
Being afraid.
He's not worrying about the cards, is he? Here we go.
I mean, I'll let you go through a free kick. I was going to say talk about free kick takers. Mesut Ozil, a man who was being left out the squad and then he's flown to Turkey today.
He's going to hit it. Oh, it's just over. Well, it's a little bit too straight on at goal, unfortunately. Caballero jumps for it, but he doesn't have to dive, and Ceballos told David Luiz to go away from it. And a little bit more dip, maybe that would have probably been tipped over the bar by Caballero. I don't think it would have gone in, but over and wide. But in terms of the Ozil stuff, obviously he's not even in the squad today for Arsenal.
He's in Turkey currently now.
It's a sad story, isn't it?
It's because he's a player who we all know that he at one point was one of the best central attacking midfielders. He was the reason Arsenal were getting results at one point, and then something happened, and then he's just faded, unfortunately.
And it's the thing is as well, it's manager after manager after manager where they don't seem to be picking him. I mean, the first manager that came in, Unai Emery, didn't really like fancying him at all, dropped him, and that was the starting point. Lundberg brought him back in very slightly for his interim role, and then ever since Mikel Arteta's come in, same situation again. He's just not played and has been left out of the squad, and it's a sad end because it's another tricky situation. You're talking money wise. Do you just let him go and cancel his contract and take the heavy loss now on his wages? I mean, you're saving yourself 350 grand a week, but of course you've still got to pay the compensation clause for him, which will no doubt be quite heavily expensive. Or do you keep him in and maybe see if you can
winning him back in?
Exactly, and I think it's a hard situation because I don't think Ozil would say no to playing for Arsenal again. I think he does want to play, but if the manager doesn't want him to be in the lineup and doesn't think he's capable enough to play, you're in a tricky position.
It comes down to Arteta's discretion. If Arteta is happy with these midfielders and he doesn't feel he needs to bring Ozil in, get Ozil out if you can. Get him, even if you're gonna not get what you were gonna get for Ozil a couple of years ago, but get rid of him. Give yourself a bit of money to boost yourself in transfer window, or even if you can't go to him this September, January, even next season, because you talked about this, and they are rebuilding the side, and use the money that you made from Ozil, who is, like I said, he's in Turkey right now. He's practically on holiday. It's a tough situation.
There will be clubs out there that will want him, but it's that issue again. If you do keep him at Arsenal and try and flog him on, because he's so high on his wages, he's not going to want to go because he will never get a contract like that again. Whether he moves now, whether he moves a couple of months, couple of years, he would never get a 350 grand a week contract. He won't even get close to it. He's probably lucky if he'll get 100 grand a week contract because his stature in terms of the name of Ozil and probably the player and his performances will have significantly dropped compared to what he was when he first came into the club. And Arsenal have they've stabbed themselves in the back really by giving out all these big contracts in the past to the likes of Alexis Sanchez and Ozil, because now you've got players like Aubameyang where, if you want to keep them, they're always going to look at Ozil's 350 grand a week and say, well, technically he's not even playing, so I could earn as much as him, if not more.
It's just a bad thing to have at a club. It's an unhealthy sort of. It's just because he's on so much wages. You can't have someone on that much and not even if he's on the subs bench, there's justification. Just say I don't think he's ready yet. But when he's not even put in the squad, you need to cut your losses with him.
Well, that's the thing. There's the very best clubs, not just in England, but across the world, have a set wage structure. You look at the teams like Liverpool and I think Spurs. They've got these good wage structures where if a player asks for a certain amount of money, they don't necessarily tend to give it them unless it's very, very dire circumstances, if not at all. And Arsenal have gone down the opposite route of if a player wants the cash, they'll just give them the money that they want. And the problem is, with the way that football is now, egos are so massive that player demands are much more important than they probably were about 10 or 15 years ago.
And the thing is, even if a player doesn't have an ego, they're still gonna. They're not gonna even look at it and think, "Well, I'm better than him." Think, "Well, I have played 1,000 more minutes than him, but I'm not being rewarded, and it's taken a toll on my body." And I don't think that's even an ego thing. I think it's a thing of just. It's a basic reward system, isn't it? If you're working at work and you did 10 hours of overtime in 3 days or something, you get paid extra for doing that. If Ozil is on 400k a week not doing anything, but let's say Mason Mount is on 200, Mason Mount would go, well, it's not, I don't think I'm better than him, but I'm putting in way more effort. I'm playing way more effort. I do think I deserve the same amount of money.
And that's the thing with Aubameyang. Because he's so good and he's putting the performances in and he's pretty much Arsenal's best player, he's got every right, hasn't he, to ask for the money that he wants, because he could quite easily just leave the club, go somewhere else, go to a big club, because there'll be big European clubs, in Champions League football and things like that'd take him on. But we're going to have a drinks break. Absolutely, anywhere would take him on. 21.5 minutes in, they're going to do the drinks break early here. Usually kind of wait to the 25th, 26 minutes. Since the goal has gone in, it's gone a little bit quieter in this game. Arsenal not really had many major opportunities on goal yet, but they're kind of slowly knocking at the door.
Early chance on the wing with Maitland-Niles, but apart from that, both teams not really having amazing things. The goals, Chelsea have just slowed it down a lot, and sort of allowing Arsenal just to take it out of the back into sort of Chelsea's third, but they've coped well with the defence. Arsenal haven't really got close to the net, so yeah.
It's a slow burning game here so far, but if you're a Wolves fan, it's not just Arsenal and Chelsea who might be potentially celebrating today, because as it stands, if Chelsea do win, it'll be Wolves who will be going into the Europa League next season. Of course, Chelsea already having Champions League football, so they don't get that spot, which means it will move down to 7th place Wolves. So Arsenal, they desperately need to win it. As it stands 1-0, if you've missed it so far. Christian Pulisic, the goal scorer in the first kind of 5 to 10 minutes of the game. Lovely back heel from Druid for the assist into Christian Pulisic. Simple finish.
I'm on my drinks break now.
It's mad, isn't it? You're about a minute behind. That's crazy.
It allows me to watch things more in depth.
Absolutely. I mean, by the time I've kind of broke everything down, it should come up. But Mikel Arteta, he's calm right now, as you'd expect. You're only 20 minutes in, I guess. As the saying always goes, it's best to concede 5 minutes into the first half, then 5 minutes towards the end of the game, because all the pressure is really mounting on them. Of course, there's no fans in the stadium today. Big miss for not just for fans, but for players and everybody in general. Do you think it plays an important part in the game?
We talked about a lot with the Bundesliga watchalongs. You're there to do a job, and I don't think the fans should matter. But when it's a final, you've grinded your way through 4 stages of competitions. You've gone on an unbeaten streak. In a final, having the fans would help so much. Because when that Chelsea goal went in, the Arsenal fans will be straight back on them going, "Come on, lads, go again, go again." With the lockdown, it really does test a manager. because before the fans can sort of rile up players, but now it's on the coaching teams and the players are on the bench to go to the players on the pitch like, come on, keep on the momentum or build off their goal, try break them down. It's all about strategy more now without the fans.
I mean, for fans, I was kind of watching a few people just preparing for the game today, and it'll be hard for some fans because there's some people who've pretty much gone to all the finals Arsenal have played. I think I was watching a video that DT did, one of the Arsenal fans. Oh my word, that is an outstanding goal, but it's not going to count. Oh. Well, Nicolas Pepe just absolutely whacked one into the back of the net. Thought he'd scored the equalising goal. And I don't think anybody saw the flag for a second. Just looking at it here, he's offside. It's the right decision. He's only
I thought you were a really big fan of Arsenal Fan TV. It came out of nowhere.
DT. Out of nowhere, yeah. It wasn't actually Nicolas Pepe offside. It was Maitland-Niles who was offside. Who fed the ball into Pepe, who took the shot on outside of the box. And just as he was about to start celebrating, the linesman had his flag up, but I don't think Pepe had noticed it. And then, of course, he's gone to celebrate, seen the flag. And it's a very, very quick celebration that ends. And my word, that would have been an outstanding equaliser to get Arsenal back into the game there.
And it could have been, it's what Arsenal need. Just get back on level playing fields.
Oh, and that's the thing, even though it's not in the back of the net, it gives them momentum. We talk about momentum. Aubameyang's through on goalie who's been pushed, and maybe there could be a penalty shout here. The referee has given a penalty. Well,
wow.
Just as we've literally said about the situation of Arsenal scoring, the referee has just given a penalty, and Cesar Azpilicueta has gone into the book. Well, actually, has he given a penalty? Because the Arsenal players are swarming round, protesting. Let's have a look at this now, just to see whether he's giving it or not as a penalty.
I've just seen that Nick Pepe goal. That's an incredible finish.
It's a really, really good finish. I think he's actually giving it as a free kick here. Just looking at it now, it's very hard to tell whether he's taking the form of contact from inside of the box or whether he's taking it from the point of the grabbing on the outside of the box. I think it's a penalty. Mikel Arteta is fuming. And of course, as I said, Azpilicueta, the third player to go into the book now for Chelsea. Yellow card there. Thank you so much, RG Steve, for the subscription. You absolute legend. I hope you enjoyed the watch along so far, but once again, thank you so much. And I think it's a penalty because Willy Caballero's gone over protesting, which I don't think he would have done if it was a free kick.
I mean,
and the VAR is checking this for a penalty. Now,
this is where VAR can be make or break.
Absolutely. With the look of what VAR is looking at right now,
I think that's a free kick.
It looks like it's a free kick.
I've just seen it now. The contact of the foul happened outside the box. It's definitely a yellow, but
it's an interesting one because they've paused it and it looks like both Aubameyang's legs were in the box. Now, the point of contact where Azpilicueta has pulled Aubameyang down, he isn't in the box. It's outside and it's quite clearly outside.
In the box is where... So there's a slight shirt pull, but Aubameyang, it's when Azpilicueta puts his hand on his shoulder and
the
pulls
referee
him down in the box.
Has given it as a penalty.
Yeah, that's one of them decisions that can go either way because the initial contact happens outside the box, but I said the proper foul was inside the box.
Yeah, no, the improper foul was inside. That's where he went down. But Aubameyang is going to step up here. We literally talked about Arsenal needing an equaliser in this game, and he's against Willy Caballero, who has a fantastic penalty record. Can he save it today and be Chelsea's hero? He's just taking his time. He looks very composed right now.
He's going bottom right, I'm guessing.
Top right, I'm going. The referee blows his whistle. He steps up, and it's smashed in to the bottom right-hand corner. Rowan got it spot on.
Me and Aubameyang.
1-1.
Isn't it?
You've got your predictions spot on today so far.
It's what Arsenal needed. Well, I said it was 0-0 at full time, but I'll take a draw. It's what Arsenal need. We literally talked about it just 3 seconds before the penalty. This is what Chelsea are now going to be worried because they really slowed down. They didn't use the momentum to get them extra goals. And now Arsenal will have all the momentum.
Oh, it's a fantastic penalty. Willy Caballero dives to his left-hand side. There is not a chance he's saving that. And as I said, as calm as composed, Aubameyang smashes it into the back of the net. And we've about 20 minutes, I would say, left of the game if you include an additional time. We're all square. And what a start to this game it's been. Fantastic.
Great start.
I think you should be
I
able
mean,
to see it in a
you
moment.
predicted goals.
Yeah,
Yeah, Bamiang's stepping up now.
I said there'd be goals in this one. I just feel like Arsenal have really got to put the pressure on Chelsea here, but, you know, with Pulisic scoring the first goal in the game, it was actually Chelsea that put the pressure on Arsenal, and maybe it's done us a favour in that sense, because I think if Arsenal maybe would have gone 1-0 up, they'd have probably... I think they'd have gone for a 2-0, something like that, but they'd keep it much more calmer than Chelsea does. Chelsea
It's a great penalty, that, by the way. It just puts his boot through it.
So calm and so just comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
It's brilliant to
They've
see.
got to build off this now. Got to build off it.
Absolutely. I think with the way it is, somebody is going to need to try and score before half-time in this fixture, because with the way it is, it's all open, it's all square. Arsenal, probably, I would say, in the last 10 minutes are looking the better of the sides now over Chelsea. And we might... I don't know whether there's going to be a potential change here. Well, there was a kind of interception there between David Luiz and Giroud. He's gone down with his back. Whether Giroud will continue on here, I think he probably will. He should be all right. David Luiz not going into the book there for that pull. I don't think it's really worthy of a yellow card.
The Chelsea bench who comes on for Giroud gets injured. Tammy Abraham will be that natural replacement. Very similar style play. Sort of, you're tall. Tammy Abraham probably better on his feet.
Yeah, I'd say he's better on his feet. And I think obviously he's a little bit quicker as well than Giroud, but
still can be that tall tag man. How tall's Tammy Abraham?
I think he's 6 foot.
He's got to be quite tall.
I think he's 6'4".
Jesus.
I think he's pretty much a Giroud height. It's mental, isn't it? World's in the chat. He's put Arsenal without Auba, just a very average team. Would you agree with that?
Yes. Yeah. I think without Aubameyang, they are a 7th place, 8th place team. Just because Lacazette, there's not... You look at the team and it just doesn't compare to Liverpool, Chelsea. The United are slowly getting there. Even Leicester seem like you could name a player in every section of the pitch, and you say, yeah, he's great at the back. Like Soyuncu for Leicester. Your midfield, Maddison, your striker Vardy. United, you've got Maguire, Fernandes, Rashford, City, Laporte, De Bruyne, Aguero. Liverpool, Van Dijk. Who's Liverpool's midfielder?
They've got Wijnaldum, Fabinho, Henderson.
Yeah, they've got so much depth. Your strike, your front three of Liverpool are all class, but Arsenal don't have that in every single section. I think your defence is your David Luiz is your main guy. Yeah, I don't think he's with it. You've got Socrates, but he doesn't start.
And he's been out injured as well, so they're missing him too, which is a big loss for them.
And then you look at your midfield. Maitland-Niles is not there yet. And there's Xhaka and Ceballos, just they're mid-tier footballs players.
We've got another play down here for Chelsea. I'm just trying to see who it is. They've got their hands over their head right now. It's actually looking like it's Aspilicueta that's gone down. Christensen, who we were talking about a moment ago, he's just been told to warm up a little bit more harder just in case he has to come on here. I'm just trying to see what's actually happened in terms of the clash of heads, was it? Or is he... I think his hamstring's gone, it looks like.
It's not good for Chelsea, the captain. Obviously, he's already on a yellow card, but...
That's a big, big blow.
I've just seen the run from Pulisic where Alonso fouls, I think it's Ceballos. Lightning fast.
He's so, so good, isn't he? And it'd be interesting to see next season when he's got the likes of Werner and Ziyech there, just how much more improved he can become as a player.
Obviously, I've got an affinity because he's a former Dortmund player. But, I mean, we've talked about it on previous podcasts, but the USA national team, I've got really into the MLS recently. We had a great game last night, LAFC losing to Orlando on penalties. But the US national team is looking very good. I think the defence and keeper are your weaker parts, but that midfield with Weston McKennie sort of leading it, it can be very nice.
They've got some strong youngsters in there. That's the thing. They're a building squad with youngsters pretty much. Pulisic, Reina, to name a few of the big
Tyler
stars.
Adams.
McKennie as well. But yeah. Aspilicueta's coming off here. He's in tears right now on the pitch. It is going to be Christensen who comes on, which literally at this rate, everything we're talking about in this match seems to be happening because we are actually going to see the Danish centre-back come on here, which we talked about.
We said he's a great sub replacement for an injury or a suspension, and it's what he's doing.
Oh God, I
It'll-
tell you what, we need
who
goals.
goes captain? It'll be interesting who goes captain here because we know Aspilicueta is a natural leader, so
Yeah, I don't know who they're going to give it to. It might be
Jorginho?
Jorginho, I think, would probably get it maybe. But Lampard looking a bit devastated there. The captain is going to come off. He's in tears, as you would expect. I don't know whether it's Aubameyang kind of slightly clipped the back of his leg. It wasn't intentionally
No.
in any way, shape or form, but I don't know whether that's triggered it in some way, shape or form. But Christensen is coming on here, the Danish centre-back. He's ready to go. I don't know who's been given the captain's armband. In fact, it's just come up now. It is indeed Jorginho who is now the captain for the rest of this game. And we've got about just over 10 minutes, including additional... Sorry, not including additional time, actually. 10 minutes of normal time left to go. And the first substitution is taken.
I've just loaded up Aspilicueta's injury history. See if it was anything that he could have... What's it called? Thing. His last injury was in 2011.
It's crazy, isn't it? 9 years without an injury. He's pretty much Mr. Consistent.
And he only missed 29. He missed a full season. Marseille were at.
It's crazy, isn't it? Very, very good record in terms of fitness levels. Of course, when you get older as well, it is more likely that injuries will start to appear. And it's a shame for him, and hopefully it isn't too bad. And it's just maybe a slight niggle on the hamstring there, and nothing too serious. Mikel Arteta giving him a hug as he came off the pitch. But with the way that he's kind of reacting there, it does look like it's going to be quite serious.
Yeah,
it could be a potential tearing.
It's probably a lot of emotions as well. You've captained your side to an FA Cup final, and then you have to come off just before the first half. It's a big chance for Christensen to
Mount putting it into the path of. I think Marcos Alonso wanted to hit that, and while Jorginho's just got in his way completely, he's right on the edge of the box. Just trying to see here. So Marcos Alonso kind of starts the attack. Mason Mount gets into the box, tries to lay it off to Marcos Alonso, who wants to take the shot on, and then Jorginho gets in the way, takes the shot on himself, and it's a little bit too high, and goes wide for a goal kick.
The captain now, he tried to get that goal back for his club.
Trying to nick it off of Marcos Alonso. I think he wanted to take the shot and must have seen Jorginho and then kind of backed off it, but
yeah.
Unlucky for them there. Emi Martinez not really had much to do so far since that opening goal, which did come from Christian Pulisic.
I was going to say, just big moment for Christensen now. He's got to prove that he can cope in these big games.
Absolutely.
Because Aspilicueta's aging, isn't he? He's not getting younger.
No, he's getting on now. I think he's 32 off the top of my head. 32 or 33.
I think he's slowly drifting into esports as well. I know he left his partnership, I think, with hashtag or something like that, to form his own esports team.
Oh, wow, he's 30, actually.
Well, he's not even that old.
Jesus. I mean, 30 years old. I thought he was a little bit older, Aspilicueta. I thought he was like 31, 32, but 30 years old. Still got a couple of years in him, technically speaking.
Yeah, I thought he was older than that.
I thought that too. We've got a good chance here for Arsenal.
He's already set himself up for outside of football.
Nicolas Pepe getting into the box. He's been passed back to him. It's now lofted into Lacazette. Good defending there from Kurt Zouma, and Nicolas Pepe can't get the ball back. And well,
I've just seen the Jorginho chance. He's thinking he's taking a conversion here.
You can see, can't you? You can see Marcos Alonso is about to strike it. Notices Jorginho's about to hit the ball as well and just backs off. Unlucky for him because, you know, we know Marcos Alonso is a very attacking fullback. He's pretty much the Chelsea's Alberto Moreno of the left-back position. He loves to attack and pretty much hates defending. But in those kind of positions, he doesn't mind a shot.
I mean, I want to talk about half-time. I'll talk about half-time as well, Karen.
But we've just kind of slowing the play down a little bit here. We're back at the Chelsea goalkeeper, Willy Caballero, who so far has conceded the first goal of the day against Arsenal. It's 1-1 as it stands. Christian Pulisic with the opening goal. And then about 10 minutes ago, Aubameyang equalised courtesy of a penalty from Aspilicueta, who has come off injured for Christensen to come on. I don't really like Arsenal playing out from the back here, which they're just doing that right now as I'm watching this. But there's been a couple of times where they've nearly lost the ball in this first kind of 40 minutes.
What's your opinion on Rob Holding? He's a man who's been in the Arsenal setup for a while, but has had numerous loans. I
think he could improve as a player, but I don't think he'll get as much better as what he is now, in my opinion.
So what I'm asking is, do you think, if Arsenal won the Champions League, do you think he's going to be there?
No chance.
Yeah.
When I look at Rob Holding, I don't mind him. I do think at times he's been quite good for them. I think Arsenal fans will agree that sometimes he's been, I wouldn't say rock at the back, but he's been pivotal in some games for them to get results. But if they wanted to get to the next level, I don't think it'd be the right option for them. I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done with this squad if they want to kind of go to the next level. You've got to look at the teams who are in the Champions League. I mean, realistically speaking, if you technically look at Chelsea's backline that's playing today, they're not outstanding, but they're much better than what Arsenal's got right now. You know, Tierney, great player, is really, really improved on his form since the coronavirus break, but gets a lot of injuries. David Luiz is getting on, not the player that he used to be. Rob Holding, we just talked about a moment ago. And even then, I think their best centre-back is Socrates. But even he's getting on with age.
Yeah, it seems like Arsenal have got the youth in that midfield and attack, but not the defence. Particularly, like Rob Holding. How much did you say how old he was?
No, I'll have a quick look.
He's only 24, but so he's got years to improve. But it's only maybe 6 years.
I just see him as the type of player that would go to like a Burnley or a Brighton. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Where he'd be quite good there. He'd be a great centre back. You've got to look at like Tarkowski's and Mees and even the likes of Byrne and Webster's at Brighton. They're good centre backs, but they're not outstanding.
Yeah, they're not amazing, but in a certain team setup, they play well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Rob Holding would be a good fit for him.
Definitely.
Got a good chance for Arsenal, by the way.
They need to splash some money on to improve their defence.
Ooh. Wow.
Ooh, he got Gary Neville.
Pepe whipped crossed it to the box there. William Caballero came running out. It was kind of aimed towards Maitland-Niles. I'm just kind of watching that over again. Oh, I thought for a second he might have accidentally knocked into Maitland-Niles and there was potential risk of another penalty, but it's actually Reece James that bundles into him. No penalty given, which is absolutely correct of a decision anyway. But there is a corner. Lofted into the box towards David Luiz. Can't get there. Aubameyang tries to get it back into the box. It comes down eventually for Nicolas Pepe, who does get the ball. He's lofted into him. Back to Lacazette, who's now back on the ball. This is outside the box now. It's going to be lofted in by, I think that's Kieran Tierney, and it's going to hit the face of Jorginho, I think, and go out for a Arsenal corner again. And they're looking so much more dangerous in this last 10 or 15 minutes.
The Arsenal are really playing very well.
I mean, they're just showing, actually, Nicolas Pepe would have, I think technically was in an offside position. It wasn't called up as offside. But Arsenal with another corner here. It's going to be taken short. Pepe lofts it in for the near post. And I think he's come off another Chelsea player. And it's going to go out for a corner, I think. Rob Holding there, just a little bit disappointed. Yep, another corner. That's 3 in short succession.
If you've got it on the bets, you set.
Can it be third time lucky here? 42 minutes on the clock. It's played short yet again. It's lofted in this time towards Aubameyang at the back post. He heads it down for Nicolas Pepe. Now to Rob Holding, whose pass is very, very quickly intercepted. And the attack is fumbled. And, well, it is a position where Rob Holding actually could have probably taken a shot on if he wanted to. But he decided not to. And that is a very, very poor opportunity that's gone wide there for Arsenal.
Yeah.
Here comes
Chelsea. I've just seen Marcus Alonso doing probably one of the worst clearances. It looks like he's about to hoof it. He just digs it up to Lacazette.
And that's what I mean. I think he's one of those players where if he just played as like a flat left mid in a 3-back formation, you know how Guerrero kind of does for a Dortmund? He'd probably be really good at it. But as a left back, I just don't think he's the right
As a defender, he's very clumsy. But I think, like you said, as a left mid, he's probably not. It sounds so stupid to say.
There are just fullbacks though that it fits. As I said, like Guerrero at Dortmund, he's very good attacking wise, and I think he's. I don't say he's very similar in Marcus Alonso in style, but he's so much better attacking wise that as a left mid, it works better for him. And I think it'd be the same for. Is a penalty being given away here? Have we got another penalty? No. Well, I don't know whether this is being given as a penalty or not. Well, Nicolas Pepe's just gone down. on a Christensen tackle, and he's been giving us a free kick actually, but it's right on the box, and it could have been another one of those situations again where maybe there could have been calls, but it's just a little bit more clear this time that it is on the edge of the box. And they're so lucky that they've not given away another penalty here, if that was kind of a second or a half later. And this time it is Christensen who came on for Aspilicueta that makes the tackle, and Arsenal have got a free kick in a very, very good position. And, well, once again, David Luiz is standing over this, but I don't think this is the right area for a knuckleball free kick. Lacazette, Pepe and Aubameyang standing over this one too. I think this would be a very perfect position for Nicolas Pepe to hit this one. Will Caballero just set up his wall?
I like Hector Bellerin's hair. I prefer it when it's short. It doesn't look as gimpy.
Yeah, I get what you mean. He changes his style up every week, it feels like. But the free kick's going to get taken.
I admire it.
Lacazette hits it, and it's just wide of the mark. And, well, he's a little bit disappointed with that free kick there. I thought it was much more closer than it looked. And, well, actually, when you kind of look at the angle of the shot, it's quite far wide of the goal. Yeah. Really poor there.
I've just seen the free kick given away. Stupid there from Christian, lunging in when he done after.
He's poor, and you know, if that was the second later, that would have been given as a penalty. And
so close as well.
This is such an interesting game because both sides, I don't think, really are fully at it. I mean, as I said, Chelsea, since that goal went in, have been pretty quiet. Arsenal looking the better of the sides, and there's 5 minutes of additional time before we do go into half-time here, 1-1. I think Chelsea have got a lot of work to do in this second half. I don't know whether you'd agree with me or not.
Yeah, Arsenal have had probably the better 25 minutes, 30 minutes even. Like I said, once Chelsea scored, Arsenal turned up the gear and Chelsea went down.
It's been very quiet, hasn't it, for the front three, I think.
The problem is Arsenal need a goal before the end of the half, because I think, obviously, new half, both teams are going to be on the same level of momentum and stuff. And I think if Arsenal do get that second goal, it puts them in good stead.
Well, I've just been talking about Arsenal playing out from the back not too long ago with Rowan. Chelsea now playing out from the back. Well, Caballero, a very, very lucky man because he was taking his time with the ball. Aubameyang came sprinting in at him. And if he took any longer, that would have been a very, very simple goal for the Gabonese striker.
Well, we talked about it, I think, but the keepers have got to be on there, have their wits about them now with Pepe, Lacazette and Aubameyang hunting down Caballero and Mount and Pulisic hunting down Martinez. It's a game where you can see mistakes happening from these keepers just with the intensity of the both attacks of the team.
It's one of those as well where if you're a goalkeeper now, you have to be like a midfielder too. You can't. You have to be good at passing, or else if you're not, 9 times out of 10 you're not going to get picked. And I don't feel really comfortable watching this goalkeeper and defenders, not just for Chelsea but for Arsenal as well, both trying to play out from the back, because I just feel like, as you said, the front threes of both sides are chasing the goalkeepers down and the defenders, and 9 times out of 10 they're both all making mistakes. It's bad.
I think there's only 2 goalkeepers in the Premier League where you can rely on them to sort of play out the back, and that's Alisson and Ederson.
Absolutely. I agree with that one.
They've both made mistakes. And so when you're relying on your backup keepers to play out the back, you're acquiring a lot of them.
Well, there's a good chance if Chelsea lofted the ball up to the path of Reece James, who did make a bombing run forward, but it's a little bit too heavy, and it goes straight into the path of the other Argentinian goalkeeper for Arsenal today, Emi Martinez, former Rotherham and Reading goalkeeper now.
Is the former Rotherham?
He's indeed used to play for us back in the day in the Championship.
I don't know if there's any former Oldham legends here.
Do you know, it was really good actually for us as well. It was really good.
You've always had some decent keepers, haven't you? Dan Iverson, great for you.
We love a lone goalkeeper. I know we're in talks with, I think, Arianet Muric of Manchester City.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we're looking to take another Premier League goalkeeper on loan again. So,
I mean, I'll talk more depth in half, but with Oldham, I'll do a proper talk, but the future looks bright and dark at the same time.
Yeah, I'll say about that at half time because there was, if you are kind of a bit of a lower league fan, there was some interesting stuff that came out today regarding a
Very
new
interesting.
manager, which I looked
Yeah.
and kind of raised my eyebrows at. But we'll talk about that at half time. We've got about 2.5 minutes left here. It's gone very, very dead in this additional period.
Yeah.
Kieran Tierney just trying to, I think, whip a ball in long. Very,
It's
very
just
poor.
both teams just passing around the back, just trying to build something up.
They don't want
And
to
nothing's
concede
ever
here
come.
before
No.
the first half ends. You're going
It's
2-1
the
down.
worst time to concede.
Absolutely. And talking about a potential chance to concede, we've got another free kick here for Arsenal. Another Chelsea player going into the book. That's the fourth player in Mason Mount this time going into the book. Chelsea very, very, not, I wouldn't say reckless on the tackles, because I wouldn't say any of them being reckless, bad tackles, but very vicious.
Unaware.
Yeah.
I think they need to just be careful because a lot of these free kicks are right outside the box. The most dangerous positions for these, it's straight centre. It's, yeah, they just got to be more careful. Obviously, Christensen gave one in probably the worst position. Lacazette with it wasn't the best free kick, to be honest.
Well, this one's a little bit too far out to be taking a shot on. It's lofted in by Pepe, comes into the middle of the field towards the path of Rob Holding, who does actually try to take a shot on, but it's blocked. Now Rob Holding comes back onto the ball again, gets the ball into the path of David Luiz, who is right up there in the box right now. Of course, a couple of seconds left. They might as well go for it because there'll be no time here for Chelsea to counter-attack. We're on the 50-minute mark, but the ref's going to play on. And the referee does blow his whistle. Half-time. I thought maybe there Aubameyang might get the ball back for one last attack, but half-time of this game, it's Chelsea 1, Arsenal 1. Chelsea, the away side in today's game, took the lead with Christian Pulisic within the first 10 minutes. A fantastic back heel from Olivier Giroud to put the away side into the lead. But half an hour later, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang got himself a penalty. Azpilicueta tackled him inside of the box. It was a very interesting decision. Of course, it went down to VAR to find out whether it was going to be given or not. It was indeed. He slotted away the penalty, and then, of course, the person who made the tackle, Azpilicueta, has come off injured for Christensen. But at half-time, 1-1. Not been a bad game of football at all.
I have just seen the Mount foul. I think Ceballos goes into him there. It's probably a foul, but it's not. I don't think it's a card.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I think the referee's just trying to lay down the law more than anything.
Yeah, just basically to stop having so many stoppages. I mean, I've talked about it a lot on the podcast. Is I don't like that football is so. I'm trying not to word it something. It's very soft.
Yeah.
Fouls that shouldn't be fouls are given. Fouls that are not fouls are given. Like, it's very mix and match.
And then on top of that, you get the diving as well.
Yeah.
Which is so stop-start. And, like, I think there was a stat where it was something like the longest game where the ball had been in play or something like that. I think last year, in a half, was something like 23 minutes. So you think to yourself, 20 minutes of the game, it is throw-ins, free kicks, tackles. It's crazy. But half-time of this game, being a really, really good match, I think, even though, of course, it's still all square in this one. Remember, it can actually go to extra time and penalties with it being the final, and both sides do have 5 substitutions. The rule does take place in the FA Cup as well. I mean, I asked for a 3-2. I said 3-2. Didn't say who to necessarily speaking, but I think 3-2 Arsenal.
I asked for a 0-0.
You said 0-0.
But I did go for 1-1 after extra time.
And that's the thing.
Still on.
Penalties are still technically on in this game. I mean, if it could end maybe 2-2 or 3-3, go into extra time, maybe, make it 4-4, something stupid like that, and then go into penalties, we've got everything we wanted. I've got the goals, you've got the penalty shootout, we all win. But no, I think we'll take a little bit of a break here from the Arsenal-Chelsea game. Very quickly, just to give you an update on what's to come on the channel. We've got plenty more content to come, not just football-wise, but other sports as well. Tomorrow, we have got some big F1 content available for you. It is the British Grand Prix, which you'll be doing a watch-along for.
Yeah, we had qualifying a couple of hours ago. Both Mercs on thing, but Nico Hulkenberg not finding obviously, I don't know if you've heard, Josh, but one of the F1 drivers tested positive for COVID.
Have they?
Yep, but luckily he hadn't travelled to the track, so he's currently self-isolating, so he's possibly out for 2 races. So how it worked was, on Friday they announced Yeah, I think on Friday they announced. Sorry. Thursday afternoon they announced that Sergio Perez has got contracted coronavirus.
Yeah.
He's tested positive. Sorry. And he's self-isolating. They said more details will come. And then from Thursday till Friday at 2 a.m., Nico Hulkenberg at 6 p.m. on Thursday was sitting at his home in Germany, getting ready to fly out or drive to just another race when he got a call from Racing Point saying, "Can we come bring you in?"
Yeah.
Because basically with the F1, you have to get a certain amount of points before you can drive in Formula One, just so it shows that they've have enough driving experience that they can race at the top tier. And so Nico Hulkenberg flew over to England. He he had a COVID test.
Yeah.
He showed no symptoms, but he had a COVID test. He then had to go to the FIA and say why the race party to put an argument for, just basically say we want Nico Hulkenberg to drive. The FIA said they will review it.
Yeah.
They got to 1 a.m. The FIA said, yes, you can drive it if you get everything sorted for the car and stuff. And then at 2 a.m. they fitted him in his car seat, so the seat was perfect for his fit. And then he drove on Friday. It's a very mental situation.
Jesus Christ, it does, doesn't it?
So on Thursday afternoon, Nico Hulkenberg was ready to just sit down and watch Come Down With Me. Come Down With Me, and then he's racing tomorrow. So yeah, gonna be very fun. Can't wait for that.
So yeah, that's gonna be. Are you starting at 10-2? I think the race kicks off at 10 past 2, doesn't it?
Yeah, so we'll start at 10-2-ish.
Keep your eyes out for that. It's always good fun. And then next week it's the 70th anniversary GP as well, isn't it? So that'll be good fun.
Back to back, same track. Maybe different weather, obviously. We've had very hot weather in England.
Yeah, it's been very warm. I've got my fan on right now because it's not as warm as it was yesterday because it was crazy.
I'm absolutely roasted. I'm going to open my window.
It's so bad because the walls behind me, as you can see, they do keep the heat in, so it's really bad. Bernaldo's in the stream. He says 2-1 Chelsea. I'm in Bernaldo. Hope you're all good, pal. Welcome to the stream. Hope you've enjoyed the game so far. And then, of course, we do have more content to come as well. We have a brand new festival football that's starting, of course, as you'll know. We have got all of the Europa League and Champions League football that is starting out very, very soon. In fact, in the next couple of days. So we have our Sports Corner Festival of Football 2020 that is coming up. You do not want to miss it. There is so much football to come between the 5th and the 23rd of August. We're going to be live from the 5th of August with the round of 16 games. We're live with every single match, every single goal, and every single moment. So there's 2 games on the 5th of August at 5:55 p.m. We've got Shakhtar Donetsk versus Wolfsburg, and then the other game, FC Copenhagen. They're currently 1-0 down to Istanbul Basaksehir. That game is on at 5:55. There'll be 2 live streams available for these matches, so you will have the choice of which one you do want to watch the watch-alongs for. And then on the 5th of August at 8 p.m. UK time, we have 2 more games. Manchester United, they're 5-0 up currently against Las Linz. How many more goals can they score? We'll have to find out, of course. That's being played.
6-5 incoming.
Yeah, it could be double figures indeed. 8 p.m. UK time for that one on the 5th of August. And then the other game, the first of 2 single-legged knockout round of 16 matches. Inter Milan are taking on Getafe. That is going to be an absolute mouth-watering clash, of course. Inter Milan in the top 4 of the Serie A right now. As for Getafe, just missed out on a Europa League spot this season, so they do need to try and win the competition if they want European football. And then on the 6th of August, we've got another 4 round of 16 games at 5:55 on the 6th of August. We've got Bayer Leverkusen currently 3-1 up against Rangers. Can Rangers, who just started their first game of the Scottish Premiership season, do the unthinkable and turn over Leverkusen in Germany? That's 5:55 for that game. And then what a mouth-watering clash alongside it. We'll have that game, the Rangers-Leverkusen, available on one live stream. The other live stream, Sevilla versus Roma. That is the other single-legged fixture. 2 sides that next season could potentially be in the Champions League. Sevilla have already got it. Roma are trying to fight for it. If not, they'll be in the Europa League next season. That's 5:55 p.m. And then the other 2 games, the final games of the round of 16. These are 8 o'clock kickoffs. FC Basel, they're 3-0 up against Eintracht Frankfurt. It was the shock result of the round of 16 first leg games. Can they continue their incredible run of form, or can Frankfurt do the unthinkable? That's at 8 p.m. And then the other game, Wolves They're currently 1-1 against Olympiacos. Can Olympiacos knock out an English side for the second time in a row in the knockout stages? That's available at 8 p.m. UK time, of course. As I said before, every single game will be live. There'll be separate live streams for each one, so you will have the option if you want to choose those games. It's not just the Europa League as well. It is the Champions League too, because right after that, on the 7th and 8th of August, we do have the round of 16 games. So on the 7th of August at 8 p.m. UK time, there's 2 fixtures going on. The first one is Juventus versus Olympique Lyonnais. Lyon currently 1-0 up in their fixture against Juventus. Could they do the unthinkable and knock the Italian champions out? That's 7th of August at 8 p.m. And the other fixture, well, we'll have another live stream available for that. Manchester City against Real Madrid, 2-1 up. Sergio Ramos won't be playing in that game, sent off in the previous match. You'll be able to see that one on the 7th of August. The next day, we'll have Bayern versus Chelsea. Bayern 3-0 up against Chelsea, looking very calm and comfortable. Can they potentially have a comeback at the Allianz Arena, Chelsea? That's on the 8th of August. And then the other fixture, Barcelona take on Napoli. It's all square in that 1-1-1. Can Barcelona go through, or will we have another Italian side knock out Barcelona in the competition? That's on the 8th of August, of course, both games available as always. And then the 12th to the 15th of August, you can see below some of the quarterfinal games going on. Atalanta versus PSG, Leipzig versus Atletico Madrid, and the other 2 fixtures still yet to be confirmed on what will happen there. We'll be live for every single game from the Europa League and the Champions League over the next coming weeks for our festival of football across August. It's absolutely...
it's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun, isn't it? Loads of games to come, and the single leg fixtures, the ones I'm looking forward to most, because it is a case of, you know, you have to pretty much go all guns blazing, because, you know, if you go 2-0 down, let's say, in a fixture like that, it's going to be so hard to come back.
For me, it's them quarterfinals in the Champions League. Like Atalanta, very big chance to prove a shock against PSG. And then you've got your City, Juventus, or Real Madrid. Juventus and Real Madrid come back. Be very fun.
I mean, the big thing about the Atalanta game is that, of course, we know that Mbappe will not take part in that match. But another piece of news that actually came out for Atalanta, Josip Ilicic will not be taking part in the Champions League.
Oh,
not by injury. It's a personal issue. He's gone back to his home country. So, unfortunately, they've pretty much lost one of their biggest stars as well. So, it makes that tie even more exciting, because 2 of the top dogs of both sides are going to be out for those games. So that is our Festival of Football. Begins on the 5th of August. We're going to have myself, Rowan, Kieran D, Kieran L. We're also going to try and get a couple of other people involved too from our other podcasts, and a few special guests along the way too. So do keep your eyes out for that. It all starts in 4 days' time. It's going to be good. But we'll be getting underway very shortly with the second half of this fixture between Arsenal and Chelsea. Who do you think is going to come out on tops in the second half? Or Arsenal, is it going to go to extra time, actually?
I hope it's extra time, but Arsenal look great. The final 30 minutes, when that penalty went in, they didn't look like they wanted to stop. It's tough, innit? Because Chelsea can score any minute. I'm going to say no goals. I think we'll go to extra time.
I mean, I wouldn't mind extra time and penalties. I'd like a couple more goals, as I said. You know, maybe make it 3-3 and then go into extra time. But we can all dream, can't we? I think with the way Arsenal are looking right now, they could quite easily. I don't think they'd smash Chelsea, but you know, a 2-1 win, maybe 3-1 win could be on the cards. But remember, 5 substitutions can be made for both sides. There has already been a substitution for Chelsea today. Of course, Aspilicueta came off injured about 30 minutes into the game. He's pulled his hamstring, so Christensen did come on in the match. As for Arsenal, they do have their 5 changes available. If you're actually wondering who is on the bench for these games, I am just very quickly getting the lineups here, so you can see the substitutes that could come on in this match to make an effect in this game. So I'm going to get that up very shortly here, of course, and find out who could come on.
Yeah.
Trying to find it.
I mean, I don't know who you said have the better bench here, because you've sort of got you've got Hudson-Odoi, Abraham on the Chelsea bench who can make an impact. So I've just loaded me up. You've got Kante on the bench who can really hold that midfield stable if let's say they do go a goal up. They've got the depth in sort of, let's say, Rudiger, Zuma, or even Christensen gets injured again. You've got Tomori come on. Ross Barkley can sometimes make an impact. Have you managed to load the subs up?
Yeah, I've got
Like,
it now.
I'm talking.
I'll let you go through the Chelsea one, and I'll flick through the Arsenal one.
Yeah, so obviously, Kevin, but then you've got Christensen who came on, but you've got Kante, Barkley, Abraham, Pedro, Hudson-Odoi tomorrow. So is it Pedro's last game?
It is, yeah. I think we'll see Pedro come on. Final game before he moves to AS Roma in Serie A next season, which is a fantastic move for him. Of course, he's getting
A lot of
age.
Serie A teams bolstering Inter Milan really are going for it.
Well, they've got a lot going on right now. They've got good affiliation with Spurs going on, so they're trying to get Ndombele to join, which would be a great signing for them.
You need a swap deal with Skriniar.
Yeah,
as well. To get Kieran was telling me to do past FFP.
It's very tactical, but at the same time, if you can get good affiliations going, it'd be perfect for them. The Arsenal bench, just to kind of give you an idea of who can come on with this game. Socrates is on the bench. He's been out injured for quite a while, but he's now available for this match if they do need to bring him on. Lucas Torreira not playing today. Reece Nelson, Joe Willock, and Eddie Nketiah, some of the youngsters of the Arsenal side. Of course, Nketiah has played a couple of times in these fixtures over the last couple of weeks for Arsenal. Serge Kolasinac as well, the left back. He's available. Matthew Smith, Ryan Macy. If you don't know who Matthew Smith, by the way, Matthew Smith is a young midfielder, 19 years of age. So another one of the youngsters that they could bring on in this game. And the final substitution as well, Bukayo Saka, probably the best youngster this season for Arsenal, been banging in the goals and assists, and he could potentially come on too. But another point, he just woke up. He just woke up at the right time because the second half is about to get underway. Azpilicueta has come back out onto the bench with some bandages on his legs, of course. It looks like his hamstring has gone. But the players are out. We're ready to go for this second half. I'm looking forward to this. 45 minutes potentially away from having a new FA Cup winner, of course. Manchester City last year won the FA Cup 6-0 against Wigan. I don't think we're going to see that because we've already seen both sides score. But you never know. The goals could go flying in. So Arsenal have kicked off. We're ready to go. Second half begins. Let's hope for some more goals and some drama in this game. No substitutions, by the way, in this second half. And I'm very, very glad because I've just seen on my screen that had I have had my sound on, I would have been listening to Guy Mowbray and Danny Murphy. And I'm very, very blessed that I don't have to listen through
that. I'll just do this quick thing. We didn't get a chance to. Harry Kewell is the new Oldham manager, so basically all the journalists and all the leaks had revealed that Dino Maamria was being sacked. Oldham took them a good day to basically reveal that he had been sacked. Club statement. Yeah. Day later, Harry Kewell was announced. Everyone knew he was coming. And there's just
Christian
one
Pulisic through on goal. He's taking a chance at goal. Oh, it's wide. Sorry for putting in. But Christian Pulisic has just gone down, and this looks quite bad again. Oh, no.
Penalty. Went off penalty or injury?
Injury. Well, he's banging the floor right now as if he's just pulled his hamstring as well.
Straight off kickoff.
He's gone bombing forward. Really good chance. He's gone past, I think it's Rob Holding. He's gone to try and curl it into the back of the net. Really, really good opportunity to get the opening goal in the second half here. He's taken the shot on, gone and curled it. And as he's taken the shot on, he's gone down holding his hamstring. In fact, actually, before he's taken the shot on, I think he knows his hamstring has gone. And he's just gone straight to the floor. And this does not look good here for Chelsea.
It's also a big loss for Chelsea, isn't it? Pulisic, a man who has made such an impact when he's played, who they haven't really got depth in that position for Pulisic replacement, do they?
No.
Hudson-Odoi, I'm guessing, for him?
Yeah, they're just kind of looking at Hudson-Odoi now, and I mean, the bad thing is, I was going to say a second ago that technically Chelsea don't have anything left to play for, and technically they do because they've got the Champions League coming up in a few days' time, actually, so it is a case of you don't want to get these big injuries because they are 3-0 down to Bayern Munich, but they still have an opportunity to come back, and Hudson-Odoi, he's warming up. Pedro actually looks like the player that's going to come on here.
I've just seen his hamstring went very early.
Yeah.
I think maybe 2 meters into his run, it went.
Yeah, you can tell just before he'd even taken the shot on that his hamstring had gone in. He just wanted to try and take the shot beforehand, and it's a big, big blow because Pulisic wouldn't have actually been cup tied or anything for the Champions League, so he'd been available to play the games and that, and it's a big, big loss for them.
You see him scream. Sorry.
It's not good.
Fair play to him for keeping. Imagine if that goal goes in.
It's very similar to I think there was a goal that Koscielny scored in an FA Cup final before. Where he kind of went on the turn, scored it, and then he came off injured. I think he missed the rest of the season.
I remember that. But somehow Rowan remembers that.
I think it was. Was it the game against Hull? I can't remember. But Pedro, he's coming on here. We just literally said we're having a theme here of saying things and they happen. Pedro's come on now. Final game for the club. Been a fantastic servant for them over the years. Came in from Barcelona. He's a great servant in Spain there. Pulisic, not even going onto the into the bench there. He's actually just coming off the pitch in general into the Wembley Stadium, which is not good.
Let's realise Willian not. How come Willian's not in the starting 11? Sorry, the bench even. I just realised that when they were showing him.
Is it? I thought it was on the bench. I mean, because they haven't technically got the bench available for the place to sit on. It's they're all sat on the seats. He's not on the bench. Is he not?
No, Kante, Barkley, Abraham, Pedro, Hudson-Odoi, tomorrow, Emerson. No.
That's interesting. Unless, you could look at it in two ways to say maybe they're just making sure he doesn't get injured for the Champions League game, or because his contract is expiring, maybe there's an agreement for him to just make sure he doesn't get injured before he leaves. I don't know, but I'd have thought they'd have had him on the bench today because he's pretty much one of their most experienced players out of any on the pitch. One of their longest servants, actually.
If you're a Chelsea fan, you hope. I mean, there was a small chance that you were not going to come back against Bayern, but there was a chance, and having one of your main players out, it's big.
It is a big loss indeed. I mean, as you know, you've been saying before, that Pulisic has been one of their shining stars in this game, but throughout the season as well, banging in a couple of goals here and there, pivotal ones at that. Of course, scored against Manchester City in that big victory a couple of weeks ago when they played off in the Premier League, and then a couple of other big goals elsewhere. But if you are new to the stream, by the way, thank you very much for joining. If you are new, it'd be greatly appreciated if you do leave a follow. We are about 5 minutes now into the second half. No opportunities yet for Arsenal. It's Chelsea who are starting on the front foot in this second half. Well, you could say on the front foot, but most of the time has been spent with the Pulisic injury there. We've got a lot of work to do here for Arsenal. You know, they had a good good last half an hour of the first half, but they still need that second goal. Remember, if you are not an Arsenal fan, you're not aware. If Arsenal lose today's game, there will be other fans celebrating in the Premier League, and that will be Wolverhampton Wanderers, who of course currently sat in 7th. They'll go into the Europa League. Of course, if Arsenal win, then Arsenal will take that spot, with Arsenal, of course, finishing in 8th place in the Premier League. If you're a Wolves fan, I mean, you will be absolutely delighted if Chelsea win this game. The pressure will really be off for them in the Europa League to try and win it.
Yeah. I never thought if you're also, you're probably never thinking, really Chelsea to win for us here, but it is I mean, they've still got a chance of, obviously, if they win the Europa League, which they can do. I think anyone that's left could win it, apart from Las Glins.
Who are 5-0 down. You never know, maybe they could make it back 6-5. It'd be the most unbelievable result, I think, in Europa League history. But, I mean, imagine if Wolves won it, then it'd be even better for them, because then they'd be in Champions League next season, which would be massive for them. And, of course, then if that situation was actually to happen, then Arsenal would actually get Europa League football next season, as far as I'm aware. Which is... Which would be crazy, because then, of course, their Europa League spot for the next season, which they'd have won off of Chelsea, they wouldn't actually need. So that'd be two teams then that have both been gifted the spot that don't actually need it.
Yeah. Nothing really much happened. I've just seen a Tierney throw in that came to absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it's been a very quiet first 5 minutes. I think, as I said a moment ago, a lot of the kind of first bit of this second half has been with that Pulisic injury, just making sure he's okay. Arsenal right now a little bit slower pace than they were in that kind of the last 30 minutes of the first half. If you have missed the game, I would probably say, and I think Rowan might agree, that Arsenal have been the better looking of the sides. Overall, as a reflection of the first 50 minutes, but Chelsea are looking a little bit better in this first kind of 10 minutes of the second half.
I know, Bernardo's just asked a question. Not sure if you guys know off the top of your head or not, but when was the last time non-top league side won the FA Cup?
Oh, God.
No, I don't know if they meant non-league. Because if you meant non-league, I know why we're doing it. Because it's Tottenham. Tottenham are the only non-league side to have won the FA Cup in 1901.
Bloody hell, he's done that on purpose, hasn't he? I mean,
I'm guessing so.
We've had a lot of good non-league run-ins over the last couple of years, because we had the one where Arsenal actually played off against I can't remember which team it was that which faced them. I think it was the semi-final. I'm just gonna have a quick. It was Sutton United, actually. I think Sutton United
They
or
got
Lincoln
far.
City. I think.
I know who else got far. Fylde got very far.
Yeah, it was Sutton United.
Fair play.
And they only lost 2-0. I think it was Walcott that scored in that game. But there's been a lot of good non-league sides in the last couple of years that have gone on runs.
Well, I'm just looking at the FA Cup finals, and I'm looking at winners: City, Chelsea, Arsenal, United, Arsenal, Wigan. But they were in the Premier League when they won. Chelsea, City, Chelsea, Portsmouth, but they were still in the Premier League.
Yeah, but Aldo's just put he does mean a non-Premier Premier League side, to somebody in the Championship or lower. Oh God, I think you're going back to the 90s.
You're going
I think.
very
90s or 80s.
I'm at the 90s now. United, Arsenal, Chelsea, United, Everton, United, Arsenal, Liverpool, Tottenham.
I mean, I think technically speaking,
Coventry. No, they were Premier League.
They were Premier League. Yeah, I think technically speaking, there hasn't been a like a lower division side that's won it since the Premier League started. I mean, we've had Hull, which made the final, but they were in the Premier League. Aston Villa made the final. They were in the Premier League. Obviously, Watford last year, they were in the Premier League. I'm just trying to think. I think Cardiff made a final.
Cardiff did make a final,
and they were in the Championship.
I thought they were in the Premier League 2007-8.
I think I'm gonna get it. I'm pretty sure. Was it against Portsmouth?
Yeah, it was against Portsmouth.
I think they were in the Championship. I'm gonna have a quick check here, because that might be as close as we get. So who was it in the final again? It was Portsmouth and Cardiff. Yeah.
Cardiff.
It was indeed Cardiff. They were in the Championship at the time. They were 12th placed.
Wow.
In the Championship. So that's probably the last time we've had an actual lower division side actually play in a FA Cup final.
Mental.
I mean, usually these FA Cup finals, they're mouth-watering clashes, aren't they? You get like a Man City going against an Arsenal.
And for the lower league teams, even your League 2, your League 1, if you get to probably the 5th round or the quarterfinals, that is on the level of getting to a semis or a final, just because it is so much an influx of money.
Yeah, I mean, me being a Rotherham fan, for example, for Hull, of course, when we played Hull and we lost 3-2 in that game, then Hull got the big match against Chelsea. For clubs, that play likes of Chelsea and Arsenal and Liverpool. I think who is it that played Liverpool? I think it was someone who played Liverpool this year, and they did really, really good against them, because Klopp put the weak side out, and I think was it 0-0 for quite a large period.
I'm running up this year's FA Cup, so I can tell you.
I'm pretty sure it was this year or last year, one of the two, but. It's always big money for the lower sides, and I mean, it's a shame we don't get to see as many of the lower teams get into finals and semi-finals. But of course, money talks these days, and transfers and players. It's so hard for teams in the Championship and League One and lower to get to these stages of the competition. It's very, very rare. We've got a good chance for Chelsea. Oh, well, Mason Mount, lovely ball guided into him from Jorginho, but he just couldn't get a flick on to take it past Emiliano Martinez in the Arsenal goal, and that chance does go wide. First real opportunity for both sides in this first 10 minutes.
I'm just looking at the FA Cup this year, like Portsmouth.
And now Arsenal's through. Sorry, Ron, I'm going to have to stop you again, because Aubameyang's in the box. Now he's come back to Rob Holding, who passes it off into the path of Granit Xhaka, who takes the shot on long range, and it's wide.
As I say, Portsmouth, I think, have made it the furthest out of like your non-Championship side. They got to the 5th round proper.
It's a shame, isn't it? Because it's big players. I mean, you got to look at teams like Arsenal. As I said, they played Portsmouth, beat them 2-0. It's the teams that they've got. Some of these sides, and of course we know Liverpool have been one of the sides that tends to not play the big players in the matches, but. Even in the Arsenal game when they played, in the Portsmouth game when they played off against each other, they've got some good players on their side. I think Lacazette was playing in that match, or one of the front two were playing in the game, I think. And it's tough for the lower sides to beat each other, which, as you said, if you can make the 4th or 5th round, it's good money. It is good money indeed. But it's been very, very quiet this.
Yeah,
first
like I said, you had that Aubameyang chance, but apart from that, not much. That's fine. I was going to say a quick thing. I talked about it briefly, just Oldham. Oldham point Harry Kewell. It's a very strange thing. The Oldham board and I found the perfect. I'll just sum it up with this perfect Facebook comment. Harry, here's the deal. Lemscam signs the players. They'll be French second division with names you can't even pronounce. You coach them. He picks the team. If they don't play well, it's your fault. Payment of wages were purely coincidental. Should fortunes of the team take a dive in 6 games, start looking for your next job because you'll soon be a club statement. Thank you for your services. Any questions?
The first thing I thought when you guys signed him is I thought, gone by Christmas.
Yeah. No. Gone by 30 days.
He's a record. He has a 29% win rate, which isn't really that good, to be honest. But with the way that the board are at Oldham and that, it'd be lucky if he's bloody in the job by end of September time. 7
managers in 2 years. Paul Scholes last 31 days. Like you said, the guy sending comments, the owners picked the team. It's hard being an Oldham manager, and it's so strange. But now I love Oldham. I did research them in okay to FIFA manager mode with them.
At least you lasted longer than most of the managers do in the actual job.
It's just like you look at clubs and it's like just 7 managers in 2 years.
It's bad. It's Watford level, if not probably actually worse than Watford in terms of managers.
I hope he gets a chance. It's just strange 6 weeks before a season sacking your manager.
I think as well in his statement, he said something about he was looking for building sustainability, and I think to myself, you ain't going to get that. You're lucky if you have about a month in the job.
The thing is, Oldham have got a good youth. They've just put money into the youth development system. We're good at breeding centre-backs. Tarkowski and George Edmondson. Tarkowski obviously getting the England cap, playing for Burnley in the Premier League. George Edmondson playing for Rangers and stuff. And yet we either don't keep him or we don't breed other positions. It's strange.
It is a weird situation at Oldham. It's tough because it is just such a quick turnover in managers at the club. But just looking right now, Chelsea, as I said, it's been really slow these last couple of minutes. We're just currently in the defensive half of the Chelsea play. Kurt Zimmer passing it back to Willy Caballero. Once again, Arsenal, kind of in this first 15 minutes have looked as quiet as they did in the first half. They've not really had a great deal of the ball. Chelsea having a couple of small chances, nothing really to scream and shout about. Just taking their time. Of course, remember, half an hour left of this game. If it does stay like this, we could go into extra time or penalties. We've had 2 substitutions now from Chelsea, none as of yet from Arsenal. Of course, Chelsea do have the Champions League still to play. As for Arsenal, this is their last game of the season, which, fun fact for you, for 3 of the past 4 seasons, Arsenal's final game of the season has actually been against Chelsea. Of course, last year one of those was the Europa League final, which they lost 4-1. Of course, not as much pressure necessarily, you could say, for Arsenal today, but still a lot on the line for the Europa League.
Last chance to lose, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
For your clubs that are in your top half of the division, I've got legacy. It is all based on, can you get that European football?
They need European football as well for the signings.
Yeah.
Chelsea bombing on forward here. Pedro on the edge of the box. He's been known to score some fantastic goals in his time. He's let it off to Reece James, who outside the box thinks he can hit it himself. Takes the shot on it. It's hit straight at Emiliano Martinez, but a little bit too high. It's going to go out of play for a goal kick. And it's these little chances that Chelsea are having. They need to do much better with them right now, because since Pulisic has come off with that injury, they've looked a little bit more quiet. Of course, Pedro, they're trying to work the ball and open the space up, but Reece James wasting an opportunity.
They don't have the aggressiveness that that you have with Pulisic. Pedro is a great player, but they are a different team without him.
Yeah, no, he was so good in that first half. Just the little spells that he had. It's the pace that's important. Of course, Pedro just doesn't have the same amount of pace. He's not as quick, nowhere near as quick as what Pulisic is, and he's a real big danger man. And even Pedro is a good player on his day, not as good as what Pulisic is, but not seen a great deal of Giroud. We talked about him at the start. We said he could potentially be the danger man, of course, former Arsenal player himself. He's got a couple of big goals there in previous matches for Chelsea. He's actually scored in some finals for Arsenal too. Been very, very quiet so far. Maybe is it time to bring on someone like Abraham, or do you kind of stick with him for now?
I think you keep Drew on for another 10 minutes and 20, then for them final 20 minutes, you have that fresh legs.
Yeah, I mean, it will get very, very scrappy in the final kind of 15-20 minutes if it's still at 1-1 right now. Or square at least.
It's a tough decision for the managers because we've seen, obviously, Chelsea having 2 injury worries. So does Lampard use all 3 of his subs now and sort of guarantee that he's going to have 3 proper fresh legs that are more likely not get injured? Or does he having to save it in case another player gets injured?
I mean, somebody could tell me in the chat about this. As far as I'm aware, I think they do have the option of another substitution in extra time as well on top of the 5. I feel like I heard it somewhere that they could do that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is just 5 substitutions in 3 blocks, as it was before. But I don't know why. I feel like I did see somewhere that they could actually make another substitution in extra time. Distraction, welcome to the stream, says Big Business if you're commentating it. And I'll tell you what, it's very hard when there's nothing going on. You know, when it's like just very slow periods of nothing. It's so hard to kind of build up what's going on.
I think when you're doing it like us, when we're watching it on like internet and stuff, it's very hard because when you're watching it live, you can pick out certain things that we don't see on TV. Whereas when you just sat there, you can all see the actions happen on the pitch, and when nothing's happening,
it's very hard. I mean, for Owen as well, of course. I think you're about a minute behind from
well,
my
I'm
time watching it.
63, 11, 12, 13.
I'm on
14.
64:35. So
I'm a minute and a half,
Jesus.
minute 15 down.
And now, of course, I'm watching it live. Rowan is watching it on the internet, as you could say.
Because I don't have a what's it called? A signal.
Got another chance here for Chelsea to try and get a cross into the box. Mason Mount trying to get a cross into Giroud. It deflects off of the path of Granit Xhaka. We've got a corner here. This could be a great opportunity for Chelsea to make something of this. We're at the 65th minute mark. It's been a little bit more slower than the first half has been. Rudiger just coming into the box now. Maybe he could be the difference maker in this game. We've known him to score a couple of corners in previous years. Giroud as well. Good target man in there in the box. Marcus Alonso, not the smallest of players either. They do have some big players in there. It's lofted into the box by Mount. Tries to get it into the path of Kurt Zouma, who does pull down, I think, Hector Bellerin in the box there.
I sort of like that nothing's going on because it means we might get extra time and penalties.
Yeah, no, that's technically the good thing. We are on course for extra time and penalties. I just don't think either of these sides are really having major opportunities right now. I mean, Zouma, he did actually bring down Holding there, so the referee, of course, does give the free kick. Billy Gilmour sat on the bench there. Not playing actually today, not in the lineup. He's had an injury himself. Watching on, the youngster would have probably liked to have had appearance in an FA Cup final. Would have been great for him at such a young age. Just seen him there.
Do you think a loan move would help Billy Gilmour? We've seen Troy Parrott recently just signing with Millwall on loan, and who is a youngster at Tottenham. Do you think Billy Gilmour needs a move to the Championship side just to get that more playing time? Because I don't think he'll get it currently at Chelsea.
I think it's paramount for him to go somewhere because next season you've got Ziyech coming in, so that's another midfielder. Although he's attacking midfielder, it's still another midfielder. I think he's interested to see what Chelsea do business-wise because we know about Zerner, we know about Ziyech, we know about Havertz. But I think there's a lot of players we'll see go out of the door. And one of those players I think we'll see leave is Barkley. I don't think we'll see him anymore. But Arsenal on attack here. Pepe's lofted it into Aubameyang, who's inside the box. Good chance he made for the Gabonese player to get through. He's on goal. He's lofted it over Caballero, and it's in the back of the net. Arsenal have taken the lead, and it's that classic celebration. He does the front flip, and just like that, from 1-0 down to 2-1, Arsenal are on course, potentially, to take the FA Cup. And Christensen has gone down injured here.
Oh, no.
The substitute who came on for an injury has just gone down injured, and well, it was a lovely goal from Aubameyang. It's a simple finish, just glazes it over Caballero into the back of the net, and they are now in the lead, and this is a big goal for Arsenal.
They needed it. I think like we said, the game was pressure was all on Arsenal. Chelsea don't need it. Wolves need it most, but yeah, well done to Arsenal.
He was completely onside, just checking just in case. It's fantastic work from him. I mean, it was all started out from Hector Bellerin bombing through in the middle of the field. He gets a good tackle in there, Christensen, who then went down injured. Pepe gets the ball, lofts it into the path of Aubameyang, who dances around Kurt Zuma, flicks it over Caballero into the back of the net. And as I said before, the classic celebration, the front flick we all know and we all love, especially if you're an Arsenal fan, to put Arsenal 2-1 to the good. And, you know, it's always like every kind of few things we talk about a couple of minutes later, they actually do happen. And we were just saying there needs to be a goal in it, although we technically didn't want it for Rowan for penalties. But Mikel Arteta, he's celebrating like mad. He jumps up in celebration, the staff as well. And 2-1 now. Can they hold on?
Well, it all started with Hector Bellerin. I think it was Hector Bellerin who made that darting run up the front. Does incredibly well. Christensen, when he goes for the tackle, gets injured in thing. I think him and Bellerin both go down. Aubameyang takes the space. Lovely piece of skill to get past. Was it Alonso? I can't remember who got past.
Is indeed.
And yeah, no, he could do. Great finish by Aubameyang. Bernardo says Kepa would have stopped it.
Is that it? They're going to be wanting Kepa back in the net now.
In fairness, I'm just looking. It's slow reaction by Caballero. He doesn't move his. I think if he moves his left hand up, he's stopped that.
I mean, they're just looking at the goal again now. The drinks break is taking place now. Convenient the time to call for, of course, for a quick pep talk from Frank Lampard. I think I'm just seeing it now. I don't think there's much Caballero can do in terms of his hand.
I rewatched it.
I think his hand, by the time he's put it up, the ball's pretty much in the back, not in the back of the net necessarily speaking, but past him. But you can see now on my screen, Lampard and Jordi Morris, his assistant, just had a quick talk with the team. Drinks break is now over. Aubameyang with his second goal in this game, and he's certainly making his mark. And Christensen, good news is that he is coming back onto the pitch, so we won't have another substitution at the back, which is good to see. But 20 minutes left.
Not good for Chelsea if Christian had to come off.
Oh, it'd been bad. Have they got any other centre-backs on the bench?
Tomorrow,
they've been all right in that sense. But 20 minutes left here. We might see a few more changes shortly from Chelsea because Arsenal look like they're on course here to win another FA Cup final.
This is where you bring Abraham on.
Yeah.
You've goal down, inject a bit of pace.
I don't think Giroud's done much at all. There's been little kind of instances where we've seen him on the ball, but not necessarily anything where we've been screaming and shouting about it, apart from the back heel at the start. And he just looks a bit lost. Like, not really anything's getting fed into him.
He looks lost. He doesn't know where he is.
I mean, Timo Werner, of course, he's actually there today watching on in the stands. He'll be absolutely a bit disappointed right now with his side. Of course, he doesn't technically get a medal or anything because he isn't a part of the lineup today. And I think Ziyech will probably be in the stands as well, no doubt, watching this all-important match.
I think Chelsea have really set themselves up well for next year, especially if they do get Havertz. It's a situation of which striker leaves out of that Chelsea side. Is it Giroud or is it Abraham?
I don't think any will leave.
Really, you think they'll stick with three?
Yeah, I think Abraham will. The interesting thing with Abraham is, I think if anything, he gets sent out on loan, but it'd be to a Premier League club now because I think he did a fantastic job this season for Chelsea, and I think if you sent him down to the Championship, he's too good for it. I think Giroud they'd keep. I think his experience would be pivotal. I think it sounds crazy, but Abraham and Werner can still learn a thing or two off of him. You know, Werner's still quite decently young. Giroud is getting on with age. He's had a lot of experience in finals and things like that, and I think he's a good mentor. Do you know what I mean?
He's a very good squad player.
Yeah, and I think he's not worth getting rid of. So I think Abraham would be the more likelier of the players to go, but I think they'll stick with 3 next season just in case one gets injured. Because let's say Werner gets injured and you've got just Giroud on his own. I wouldn't say they'd struggle, but they wouldn't get as many goals.
I mean, you talk about Tammy Abraham going out to London. I could see him at Leeds, you know. Patrick Bamford, I don't think is Premiership quality. And Tammy Abraham could be that leading sort of man at Leeds as a striker.
I think it'd be a good fit
Who else?
for him.
I'm trying to think who else Leeds have got up front. Is it Bamford
well,
and?
they've got technically. I think they'll have Kevin Augustine next season as well.
But will they have him?
It's a complicated situation. Before I say about it, we've had a sending off.
Oh.
Well. I don't know what's happened here for him to be sent off. This is come out of nowhere. Chelsea are down to 10 men.
Happy I am. Oh, Chelsea, wow.
Mateo Kovacic has been sent off. Now, I have no idea what's gone on there because just looking at the foul here.
Second yellow.
So, Kovacic puts in a tackle on Granit Xhaka, which there wasn't a card actually given initially for it. I don't know whether the referee here is just taking a little bit of time to kind of think over the tackle or not. Now, he doesn't get anything of the ball. He does get his studs, which would be absolutely a second yellow card. I think maybe he said something to the referee too, which hasn't helped him at all. And Kovacic has been sent off. There's also been another yellow card as well, which has gone to Arsenal.
I'm just looking now. Alonso's got in his face.
I think he's got to have said something.
Oh no, he's yellow carded Ceballos. Oh, Kovacic has said something because he said something and put his arm up. I feel like
it's all just crumbling right now. In the space of 5 minutes, Chelsea were 1-1 with 11 men. Then, of course, in the last 5 minutes, Aubameyang had scored, and Kovacic has just been sent off. Second yellow card. He must have said something to the referee because the initial foul, nothing was given as a yellow card. Dennis Ceballos did go into the book, and well, just things are getting bad to worse here for Chelsea.
You can't be doing that. He's still. And well, I'm just seeing.
He's getting feisty now because there's more yellow cards coming out here. The players are starting to fight. Antonio Rudiger not happy with the decision that he made. He's picked up the ball, and I think he's been given Arsenal's way, but he wasn't giving it back. And now he has actually given it back to Arsenal. Rudiger's gone into the book as well. I think the referee's now gone and talked to Mikel Arteta, who I think's just gone into the book too. Yep, Mikel Arteta's just got a yellow card.
The worst thing is I wish they went to VAR with that because I don't think that's foul. But I don't think it's a yellow card foul, but I'm guessing it's for the back chat.
I think it's the back chat.
That's poo from Kovacic because that isn't a foul. The VAR would have checked that that wasn't a yellow card worthy foul. I think that's just claring of thoughts. But because he's got aggressive and because he started talking, stupid.
It's bad, isn't it? It's stupidity.
And it's put Chelsea on the back foot.
Because, 10 men, they've just conceded. You know, if Lampard had brought some substitutions on, I don't think Kovacic would have gone off. He'd have stayed on. You get the momentum going in. In fact, he's making substitutions now. I think he's making 2, but of course, that moment ago, Arteta's now in the book as well, so we've got one of the managers on a yellow card. I think that's a bit of back chat to the referee as well. So it's not just the players giving back chat now; it's the managers as well to the referee, and it's not getting out of hand. It's just getting a little bit feisty in this last 15 to 20 minutes, which is what we like to see. I mean,
I'm just seeing Jorginho trying to calm down Rudiger.
Of course, if Arteta actually got sent off, then his suspension would go into the Premier League next season, but I doubt that would happen. But there's 3 substitutes coming on here for Chelsea. One of them looked to be Abraham, the other one looked to be Barkley, and then Lampard has just got another player ready as the camera panned away. But Arsenal are in the box here, going for goal again. Pepe, not the greatest of crosses, but it lands at Aubameyang. Tries to get it to Lacazette, who just can't get a touch on the ball. He's in the D, and he just can't get a touch. And it would have been a great opportunity for the Frenchman to make it 3-1. And it goes straight into the path of Willy Caballero. Really, really good opportunity there for Arsenal to make it 3-1. But we are getting the substitutions now. And, well, that might have just changed up all of Lampard's tactics completely from Kovacic's stupid decision. Because that red card means he will be suspended, as far as I'm aware, for the beginning of the Premier League season.
And you know what? You wouldn't have expected today. It was Arteta going in the book, considering we saw how angry Lampard got last week against 2 weeks ago against Chelsea, against Liverpool.
Yeah, I think it was the. I think it was it last week or I think a week before? I think.
Week before. You saw how angry he got there. He's sort of kept his nerve in a high pressure situation. He could have easily got angry at Arteta and everyone.
Might be a mistake in the back here. The ball's bobbling. Giroud's trying to get it. It's been just a kind of a ball that's been hit up by Rob Holding really, really high. And, well, Emi Martinez has tried to come out of his goal to punch it away. Giroud right next to him to try and push it in. And it's gone out of play. But the 3 substitutions for Chelsea are coming on now. It is Tammy Abraham, Ross Barkley, and Callum Hudson-Odoi. So Giroud is coming off. In not the greatest of games. Rudiger now coming off as well. He's not happy. He's coming off.
They're going for it at the back, I'm guessing them.
It does look like it indeed. He didn't really give any acknowledgement there to Lampard. And Mason Mount is coming off too. So
that's a strange one. I would have thought, well, I suppose Kovacic, I'm guessing Kovacic was probably the original. No, it's strange. It's very strange.
Just trying to see here. So, obviously Barkley, I think Mason Mount would have moved to more of a central attacking midfielder / I think he'd have just gone into midfield and they brought Barkley on instead. And then, of course, Hudson-Odoi is going to come on, I would assume, the left-hand side, so Pedro can move to the right to his natural position. But there are the substitutions there, so that is, I think, all 5 subs used up for Chelsea now. They can't make any more. I think they can make one more substitution if the game goes into extra time. As for Arsenal, still no substitutions as of yet. We're now in the 78th minute. We could potentially see Mikel Arteta make all 5 substitutes in one go. We haven't seen that in the FA Cup yet. The only time we've seen it happen is in the Premier League when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did it with Manchester United not too long ago.
What, used all 5 subs?
Yeah, I don't think that's the only time, as far as I'm aware, we've seen a Premier League side kind of use all their 5 subs in one go. But they look quite comfortable right now, Arsenal, to be honest.
Yeah, they do. They have outplayed Chelsea.
It's been a very good performance,
and for Chelsea, it's just obviously you're unfortunate with Pulisic, but then Kovacic getting a red card just really throws everything that you could do. Like, yes, Pulisic is off, that's a shame, but you've still got your 11 men on the pitch. Now you're down to 10 men. Arsenal have still got the subs left, so if it gets to that 85th minute, Arsenal bring on 5 subs. That's 5 fresher players than you lot.
Well, Wolves fans, they'll be very disappointed right now. They've got 10 minutes to hope that Chelsea can come back. And oh, well, this could be a dramatic decision here. The referee's played on. That is that could be controversial. Now, the ball has been hit towards Emi Martinez from a Chelsea player, not obviously on purpose. Now, Emi Martinez has picked the ball up. It looked like it was outside of the box. Hudson-Odoi calling for a potential red card. Of course, it would be for the handling outside the box. The referee's just played on. Now, I'll be interested to see here, from another angle, whether VAR maybe might bring this back.
Because if they do, let's say is it Matt Mason who's their backup keeper?
It is indeed. Now, the referee, I think, has paused play here to actually check with VAR.
Come on, I just want to do it
just
for fun.
They're actually showing the Kovacic tackle, which I don't want to see that. I want to see whether this Emi Martinez opportunity with him handling the ball was outside the box.
Let's say this is a red card. Big moment for Matt Macy if it does happen.
They're not showing it. Show it.
It's a problem. Who's that coming on for Arsenal? Is it Saka? Yeah.
It's Eddie Nketiah coming on, I think.
Sorry.
Yeah, so the substitution is happening. It doesn't look like the decision's been made. Lacazette is coming off for Eddie Nketiah, so that is the first substitution of the game. I thought the referee was looking now at the decision. Now, from the angle that the BBC showed
he's very clearly out the box.
It looks like he's out the box, doesn't it? Which is something VAR can technically look at because it's a red card decision. But
I've just seen it, and Abraham looks completely sure why that.
Now, I don't know whether the angle from where BBC's showing it looks as if it's outside the box, but the play's continuing on here, and no decision's been made. So I'd love to be able to see that again. Another play's gone into the book, I think. A yellow card here. I think this is going to be for time wasting. Just trying to see who has gone into the book. I think it might be Kieran Tierney who's gone into the book. I'll find out in a second, see what the BBC is acknowledging for the yellow card there. We're going to have a Arsenal corner into the final 8 minutes of this game. Tierney with a throw-in. It bobbles about. Zuma clears his lines. And this could be a good chance to make it 3-1. And well, the BBC doesn't seem to want to show the angle of the Martinez picking up the ball. Which is a bit interesting.
People have shared it.
Maybe, as I said, it's the angle from where they've shown it, where it looks like he's outside the box. But the corner's been taken short here by Ceballos. Comes back to him. Now it's lofted into the path, I think, of Nicolas Pepe. Now into Maitland-Niles, lofts it in. And it's going to be another corner.
an image someone's screenshot where he thinks it's close, but yeah, I think he has handled the ball outside the box. Hold up.
Just have a look.
I just sent it through to you on your phone, right? Yeah, there.
See the decision there. It's just loading up now. I'll have a quick check. So we've got another corner here while this loads up. I just need to click on that Twitter link and see what it looks like from the position, because it looked very, very close from the angle that I was looking at. So we've got another corner here. Nicolas Pepe's going to whip this one in. He's handled that outside of the box. I'm surprised VAR's not checked that.
Yeah, it's what VAR should be there for.
Softed into the box towards Aubameyang. The cross is a little bit too high, and it goes out of play for, I think, a Chelsea throw-in. And Ceballos has accidentally just slipped over and knocked himself into the advertising boards. That's the comedic moment of the day for you. I mean, Bernardo's just put cough cheating Arsenal cough cough. Very, very lucky, I think, with the decision. If you can see it, then definitely kind of look up Emi Martinez's handling outside the box there.
I think I can put the link on. I think I can send the link in the chat.
It's a very interesting decision. I'm surprised the referee didn't stop play just to have a quick check at it. But we've got a throw in here for Arsenal. Very similar position to where it is before. Very close to the edge of the box. It's going to be thrown in here by Kieran Tierney. Taken short into the path of Ainsley Maitland-Niles, who's not had a bad game. Tierney lost it into the box, trying to get it into the path of Pepe. It does bobble down to him on the right-hand side of the box, just on the outside. Lofted in by Pepe towards Aubameyang, cleared away by Reece James. Not the best of clearances, though, because it comes towards Nketiah, who's flagged for offside. And a good chance for Arsenal goes wide.
I've just seen on Twitter, I saw someone complain about the Kovacic thing. I think the Kovacic thing is a yellow card, but I'm guessing most people presume it's for the tackle. I think it's for the back chat. I've just seen, get this bald, Mr. Clean looking toilet scrub off this goddamn field. Who gave this genetically engineered bowling ball an effing whistle? Absolute embarrassment.
I just don't get why he's not looked at it, but we've got another chance for Arsenal here. Dani Ceballos on the ball. Going to take a shot from the edge of the box. He does, but it goes straight into the path of Kurt Zouma, who blocks it and goes out of play for throwing.
The thing is, I think it's probably too late now for the referee to go, oh, by the way, yeah, we've had another... We talk about it a lot, that there's definitely a problem with officiating, but the VAR was brought in for that situation exactly.
Yeah, he had to do it in that phase of play. And of course, like once that phase of play's gone, you can't look back at it. David Luiz has gone down here. He will probably definitely be coming off here. Not a hamstring injury this time. I think something in his foot. Probably just a bit of fatigue as well. I mean, this is Arsenal's last game of the season. It's been a long, long season, not just in the Premier League and the FA Cup, but for everybody across football. And, tired legs will start to kick in, no doubt. And this could be David Luiz's not last moment as an Arsenal player. Signed a new contract, of course, but last moment of the season. He might be about to win another FA Cup, this time in the colours of red instead of the colours of blue.
If this game ends 2-2, and then let's say this game ends 2-2, it goes to penalties, Chelsea will look back at that decision and they've been robbed. Obviously, they haven't now because they haven't played well. But if you're Chelsea, you're going to think you've been let down.
It's a massive, massive decision because Emi Martinez compared to Matt Macey, even though Emi Martinez is miles worse, technically speaking, than Leno in terms of quality, it could be a difference maker. It can be a big difference maker because he's been absolutely outstanding since he's come in for Leno. I mean, technically on paper, he is much worse than Leno. I think Arsenal fans would agree. Even though he's been quality, you would always prefer Leno over Martinez. But if Matt Macey had come in, there's 10 minutes left of the game. It's probably his first match for God knows how long. He'll be nervous because it's a final, and it's probably his first ever final he's played in. You don't know whether Chelsea can get back into the game, and as you said, you could make it 2-2 and go to extra time.
I want 4 minutes, about 3 minutes.
4 minutes with additional time, so I'd assume maybe about 6 or 7 minutes. So they've still got time to get back into it. No more substitutions for Chelsea in this instance. Of course, if it goes to extra time, I think they can make another substitution. Well, David Luiz looks like he's coming back on, but it also looks like they're making another substitution anyway. Well, I don't know what's happening here, because David Luiz is coming back on. Socrates is ready to come on. But it looks confusing because Socrates is coming on now. David Luiz isn't actually going to come back on the pitch. Bit of confusion there. It looked like they were going to bring both centre-backs on. or David Luiz just come back onto the pitch. But I think Mikel Arteta's just kind of confirmed there that Luiz has played his time. And Socrates comes on. I think that's his first game for a little while. He's had an injury issue as well, probably been one of their better players this season defensively wise, Socrates. And of course he's going to have maybe a little bit more work to do in these final few minutes as Chelsea press forward. They need a goal. If it goes to 2-2, remember, extra time and penalties could be looming. Deep down, Rowan, I'm not going to lie, I kind of want that now.
Yeah, it's just sad to see.
It'd be nice to have a little bit more football to talk about.
Come on.
You never know. We've had some late goals in the FA Cup before, but it also could be a late goal to Arsenal. The referee giving a free kick here, and another yellow card coming out for another Chelsea player. This time it's Ross Barkley who goes into the book. And I tell you what, I'm not going to lie, I think this referee's been pretty shocking today.
The biggest decision is that Martinez decision, because the game can completely change there. Red card, Matt Macy will come on. No offense to Matt Macy, he hasn't played a Premier League game, he's played the FP2, whatever it's called. He's not the same player. Red card means both teams will be down to 10 men.
I think, even at the... Obviously, the Kovacic one was because of whatever he said to the referee has got him sent off there. But I don't think, as you said, the tackle wasn't malicious. I don't think he gave the yellow card at all for that. I think it's what he said afterwards. But Arsenal at the back right now. Rob Holding just have to clear his lines once again. This whole passing around the back just... I'm a neutral. I'm not an Arsenal or Chelsea fan. But it bloody scares me watching these teams pass around the back.
Well, so same. I'm just getting annoyed. It goes back to the... Charlie Austin interview where he goes, we're supposed to be the best league in the world, the best country for football, yet this is our officiating.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with him. And the worst thing is even since he's done that, it hasn't changed. Ebenezer Zena, in the stream, thank you very much for joining. He says stupid. I think he agrees with us with the referee today. He's been really part. Either that or he's saying I'm stupid, which, I am stupid, I can agree.
I've just seen the back. I've just seen, stupid Josh. I've just seen the back yellow card.
He loves giving out yellow cards today, doesn't he?
It probably is not a yellow card, in my opinion, anyway. He's just lunged for the ball. He's not purposely gone for a tackle.
I just feel like he's just giving out yellow cards, maybe to just claim a title of most yellow cards in one game. But Chelsea, they've got to go for it now. We're about to hit the 90th minute. I don't know how much additional time is going to get added on. I'm going to guess maybe 3 or 4 minutes. Of course, we do have the drinks break and the red card decision as well. And the Pulisic. 7 minutes, I think that says, of additional time here. It is indeed 7 minutes. Well, the board that they were using, I think, kind of cut off half of what it said there. So it looked like it said 1 minute, which is why I was very confused for a second there. But it is 7 minutes for Chelsea to get back into this.
It's the one thing I hate with football as well. I'm in a complaining mood today. It's not like me. It's these water breaks and everything. It took way more than 7 minutes.
Oh, absolutely. But we've got a corner here for Chelsea.
Come on, Chelsea.
Please. I'm in that position now, Rowan, where I'm like you. I just want a bit more football. Do you know what I mean?
It's fun.
Well, Marcus Alonso there, getting them the corner. They need to get a goal here. Even then, if it's 2-2, they have 6 more minutes of the game to try and nick another goal late on, but they need to score this one first. It's going to be whipped in this corner by Hudson-Odoi, lofted into the box, but straight into the hands of Emi Martinez, and it's a really poor cross. But Emi Martinez has gone down, and it looks like his back's gone here.
A lot of players' backs going in this game.
I tell you what, are we about to see Matt Macy maybe come on here in these last couple of minutes? Maybe he can shrug this one off, but the way he went down there, he doesn't look good.
Is he winded himself?
I think his back's gone. As he's gone to get the ball, he's gone to dive for it, and he's kind of just arched his back. And as he's gone down, I think he's knocked his back there. And
I mean, luckily Arsenal to have Europa League or Champions League to worry about if Martinez does get injured. Matt Macy wouldn't have to play there.
It does technically mean more additional time, which means at this rate we might get 15 minutes anyway if we don't get additional.
As much as I don't want someone to have a mistake, especially at a young age. Well, come on, Matt Macy, just let it go in.
Martinez is up now.
Oh, who does he think he is?
It looked bad at first because it looked like his back had actually gone. He was holding it and it looked in pain, but he's up now. And he's going to take the goal kick. And play does continue. But that will probably add another minute at least of additional time here. They've got to go for it now. Arsenal in the position where they can sit back. They're happy. They are about to get Europa League football next season, which is a massive thing for them. But not if Chelsea come forward, because here comes Pedro. He's in the edge of the box, lofted into the path of Hudson-Odoi, and then Martinez grabs the ball once again, straight into his
Martinez
hands.
had a decent game. He snuffed out a lot of stuff that have come from the Chelsea wings.
I think he's not had a great deal to do, but that the early shot in the game when Mason Mount was on the edge of the box was a fantastic save. Really, really good save. But once again, I mean,
came on.
Yeah, no, I'd have thought maybe Kante would have come on in this match.
Unless he's wanting to save him for the Bayern game, in hopes that there's a Bayern comeback.
I think that's what it might be. You know, with William being rested as well. I think because it's such a short turnover between this final and their fixture, it's probably what I think is about a week.
Same with Mason Mount, because I was shocked that Mason Mount came off.
It's so different because usually at this stage, you know, FA Cup final is the last game of the season, so you know they can do what they like. But because it's so different, and especially for like Chelsea and other clubs, they've got other fixtures still after this. It's so much harder because you've got to kind of choose what do you want. Do you want to kind of put your main team out in a match like this, but risk injuries in the the Bayern game, or do you kind of rest players ahead of that match? I mean, they're 3-0 down, as you said. The thing with European football is anything can happen. But Chelsea on the attack again. Good chance here for Kurt Zouma to bomb forward, but not an opportunity that goes wide. And Abraham there going for it as well, and it really does look like it's starting to come out of Chelsea's hands here. Time is coming on. Abraham bombing forward as well to go for it. And
with 3 minutes left.
Just couldn't get the ball. And Emi Martinez yet again with another goal kick. And that's probably his third one in about 3 minutes. Oh, come on. Any more opportunities in this match would be fantastic. I think are we going to have another substitution here, potentially? Of course, Arsenal got a substitution or two they can make. Lampard looking very dejected, of course. Both managers, this is their first game to win, their first trophy as a manager. Of course, nearly, very, very nearly took Derby to the Premier League, but lost out in that final. As for Mikel Arteta, it's his first managerial final. As a manager, of course, he's featured in multiple finals before with Manchester City, but more as an assistant.
As an assistant. He's the main man. And, you know, Arsenal have played great. And I think Arsenal do deserve the win in terms of just on-the-pitch action.
He's done a great job since he's come in, hasn't he?
Unfortunately, the game will be overshadowed.
On the edge of the box into Marcos Alonso. Could try this with this. Takes a shot to Ross Barkley. Takes a shot on the edge of the box. Still comes back to him again. He's got the ball. What's he going to do here? Right on the edge of the box. He could move it into Marcos Alonso. Really poor ball. It somehow lands at the feet of Pedro. He's dancing around. Can he get this into the box? He's now outside the edge of the box. He's gone down, and the referee, surely you'd give that as a free kick, but he plays on, and well, the Chelsea players are not happy with it, but they've got the ball back. Marcos Alonso have got a minute and a half left of the game. Pedro on the far left-hand side. Gets the ball back. Still going, Pedro. Still going. He's going all the way here. Could he get it? He's taken down, but I don't think he's going to be enough for a penalty. He's gone down injured. The referee waves to play on. And well, it was a little bit of a bundle there. Whether this is actually a play taking him down or not, or whether he's just fell and... Ooh. Well, I'm doing a Gary Neville again, because when you see this, Rowan, I just need to kind of properly see this. Socrates...
Is it another poor reffing decision?
Now, this one is based on whether you think a bit of pulling or pushing.
You got to wait a minute, Josh.
I'll give you a minute. The game might be over by that point. Pedro's gone down injured. They're just kind of checking him out here, which means more additional time to come.
Unfortunately, I think this game's going to be overshadowed, Scribble.
Pulling or
game's
pushing,
going to be overshadowed.
I think is what you've got to look at here, on whether you think that.
I'm currently at Barkley outside the box.
Now, from what I'm seeing from Nicolas Pepe, that's not a good angle. Now I need to see this angle. Do you know what? Actually, looking at it, he does get a touch of the ball.
I've just seen the Nick Pepe on Pedro. I say that's a free kick.
Well, the referee...
I think if Pedro stays down... I'm just going to watch the
other angle. You can see he actually gets a slight touch on the ball.
Does it?
Yeah,
okay.
Which I thought from the angle they showed you originally, it looks like a penalty. But from the other angle, you do see he very slightly gets the touch on the ball. Sergio Kolasinac is coming on here for probably about 5 seconds of his Arsenal career. A little bit of extra time.
Ooh.
Of course, Mikel Arteta telling him what to do, which probably doesn't mean a great deal because he's got about a
Oh,
minute. But it doesn't look good with Pedro because
I tell you what,
they are getting a stretcher out for him here, which is
that
not
could
good.
that could be a penalty. Now that depends on the manager, and I don't think it's a penalty in terms of it's weak. But Socrates pushes his arm. You see the arm sort of push out once Pedro goes, which shows that there's clear intention to move.
I think the Socrates one was the one before. I think Pepe was the Pepe one was the foul that they were looking at.
Really?
Because I got confused.
Pepe
I
one,
thought the
think
Socrates one was the one, and then it was the Pepe.
Sorry, just in unrelated news, apparently Joey Barton has just tweeted the Ultimate Warrior.
Jesus Christ, what's he
The
doing?
Ultimate Warrior, who is dead.
Bloody hell. But Pedro doesn't look good here. Another injury. Stretches
Yeah.
out for him.
On his final game, as well, what will be his probably final game.
I mean, this isn't good for him as well because of his Roma move. It looks like it's a shoulder injury here. Maybe he's just...
I don't think he's dislocated it, which is nice to know.
Yeah, hopefully it's nothing too serious. Hopefully it's nothing too serious here, but the stretcher is out just in case. And well, it does mean we're going to get even more additional time. So we are going to very slowly reach the 100th minute. I mean, we're at the 98th and 42nd on mine. Of course, this could take a little bit of time for them to sort this one out. I mean, Lampard looks very dejected, but of course, there's still time. There is still time, technically speaking. There might be an extra minute or two here for his team to try and get something.
I've just seen Joey Barton's tweet 5 minutes ago. F off goalkeeper. This is like the at WWE now, at Vince McMahon, at The Rock, at Hulk Hogan, at Ultimate Warrior, at John Cena. Hashtag FA Cup final.
Oh, bloody hell, Joey Barton.
I think, unfortunately, Arsenal played well. They have.
Oh, absolutely.
They deserved the win. They've been the best side. The game will be overshadowed by extremely poor refereeing decisions, which Arsenal don't deserve because, like we said, they played well.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Arsenal, to be honest, have deserved the win. They're kind of just going through the players now. They're actually looking at Kepa, which, I mean, all the players look very dejected. I think this is probably because of the Pedro injury as well. It doesn't look good. I mean, we're now about to reach the 100th minute of the game, and Pedro is still down with a shoulder injury. Of course, it's very hard to try and move him.
Yeah, he may have dislocated actually.
I think he has. Which is really, really bad for him.
That's why I think it's a penalty, because Socrates pushes his arm. I think the Pepe incident is really one of them personal decision. So I see the swinging leg and I thought that's a clear free kick, but you saw the ball. But I think that Socrates, you see the pressure of the arm go out.
Yeah, I don't know when that one happened. I don't know whether that was beforehand.
It was after Pepe fouls Pedro. Well, not fouls, the tackle on Pedro.
Yeah.
But then Pepe tries to worm it out and he loses it. Pedro gets back up, wins the ball for Alonso. Alonso gives him the ball, and he gets past and runs opposite with Socrates in the box. And then Socrates sort of, not a massive nudge, but nudges him. That's when Pedro goes down and clutches his shoulder.
Well, they've just took him off now, by the way. He's on the stretcher. Bad injury for him. It's a shame.
Hopefully he's all right.
That's now 3 injuries that, are quite bad for Chelsea today. Of course, Pulisic's hamstring went, as did Cesar Azpilicueta's hamstring, and now Pedro's looks like he might have dislocated his shoulder, which is a shame. We're now at 101st minute of additional time. Of course, we'll have probably a very, very small amount of time left in this game. Kolasinac is coming on now as well. Still, he'll probably be lucky if he even gets a touch of the ball. It all depends on how long the referee does that on here. So, Martinez, he's going to take the goal kick. Again, for what is the 4th time now.
The strange thing is, will the referee let 3 minutes of added time keep on being played, or will they call the whistle? Because technically it is over, but because there is no official announcement the game's being played on.
I think he'll play on. I mean, with the way it's looking, he hasn't got his whistle to his mouth at all. He's playing on here. Arsenal coming forward. There might be another chance if maybe they make it 3-1. It's lofted into the path. I think it's Dani Ceballos there. They're going into the corner. They're in the corner right now. The referee just keeping an eye out.
I don't think Chelsea realise that the time will be extended, surely, because they're going to be sitting in that corner for 3 minutes.
They've got a lot to do. It's Granit Xhaka there, pulled down. Referee plays on, and he's back to a Chelsea throw. And of course, it's way too far out here. They have to hoof this forward. Now, Pulisic he's actually out right now, just watching the game on. But
which is good to see. At least he's not have to go anywhere.
Which yeah, exactly. It's a good thing. Hopefully, his injury isn't too serious as well. Of course, Pedro is going to be out, and that's a major issue because if Pulisic, Aspilicueta, and Pedro are all out injured, it's going to mean their squad is going to be even weaker for the Champions League games. But Tierney's just come off. Kolasinac coming on in the 102nd minute of the game, nearly the 103rd here. We have pretty much nearly had 15 minutes of additional time, which is what we'd have had anyway had this gone into extra time. There's still time though. Maybe one more opportunity in this game for Chelsea. Although Arsenal have got the ball back now. Lofting it into Nicolas Pepe, I think that was. And the ref's blown the whistle. And Arsenal have won the FA Cup. And well, it's been a dramatic game. Mikel Arteta is run onto the pitch in celebration. He's gone straight into the path of his players and Socrates, and he's jumped on them and given them a big hug. And it's what you like to see.
Yeah, Arsenal do deserve it. You'll see a lot on Twitter saying, "Oh, robbed." Arsenal deserve it. They were the better side. Once Pulisic went off, Arsenal dominated. The problem is, the performance was great, but it'll be overshadowed. But fair play to Arsenal. They were more clinical. They put away the chance to win the actor. They did everything they had to do.
It was a good match. It was a very good match indeed, and I agree with you. I think we both kind of said that they had a fantastic game, even if there were some dubious referee decisions in the game. But Chelsea, they have lost the final, which means as well, if you're a Wolves fan, there's no European football next season unless you win the Europa League. Arsenal have claimed that Europa League spot, but that does mean, as far as I'm aware, I think that Arsenal will have to play preliminary rounds, I think. No, sorry, it is group stages. My bad, actually. It is group stages they will go into.
So who are in the playoffs? Is it Tottenham?
I think it would be Tottenham then who'll have the preliminary games.
I remember Ronaldo saying something earlier, saying, guess it's a playoff for me then.
So it should be. Just going to check now to make sure here. FA Cup winner, Europa League spot. Just to make sure the top four at the end of the season. That's no help at all. So the FA Cup winner does enter the Europa League at the group stage, which therefore means I think Spurs will be in the playoffs for the Europa League next season. As for Wolves, no Europa League football next season unless
they've got to win it. They've
got to win the Europa League, which means they get Champions League football next season, which then means, as far as I'm aware, that next spot, which it technically is a long shot for this to happen, but if Wolves were to win the Champions League, then that means the next spot would actually go to Sheffield United. So
wow,
there's a very small glimmer of hope for Sheffield United fans. It might happen, but Alexander Lacazette has taken the corner flag and started dancing with it. And of course, the celebrations will go well into the night for this one. But Arsenal, 2-1 victory, fantastic result. Aubameyang's absolutely delighted, and I think we'll see more of Aubameyang next season. And it's just lovely to see Mikel Arteta smiling.
It's a good boost for the team. It really is.
It's
fantastic. They needed this after not doing particularly well in the league. Chelsea players will obviously be disheartened, but they've got that Champions League next season, and that's what they can work to.
Absolutely, and I think a thing for Mikel Arteta, he was the first person that kind of got everything with the COVID stuff sorted. He was the first one that kind of contracted it. The Premier League sorted everything out, and he was the one, unfortunately, that kind of had to go through it first. And now he's at the FA Cup final, which is fantastic to see. Absolutely delighted. First piece of silverware at the club, and what a fantastic season it's been. Not necessarily saying in terms of the Premier League, but it's been a fantastic run in the FA Cup. As for Lampard, disappointing game. You can see the players on the pitch if you are watching right now. Jorginho, absolute silence for them right now. Dejected, a real shame, and certainly not a good confidence booster going into your game against Bayern Munich next week, when you've got the Arsenal players celebrating in front of you. And of course the Arsenal fans as well, congratulations to you for the FA Cup victory. Of course they'll be celebrating in their own ways, of course. Unfortunately not in the stadium to witness their club win it today, but of course they'll be celebrating as it goes on. But there we go. What a fantastic match. I mean, there was some interesting referee decisions, some great goals, and it was a good match overall, but Arsenal do take the victory 2-1. You can keep your eyes out for more sporting content to come over the next few days. Of course, as we said at half-time, Rowan will be live tomorrow with the Great British Grand Prix, you could call it, of course. Silverstone, the watch-along, will be live from 10 to 2. The race starts at 2:10. And then, of course, as well, our festival of football all kicks off. It's a big month of content to come. Sports Corner Festival of Football kicks off on the 5th of August. The Europa League fixtures, every Europa League and Champions League fixture will be live. We'll be covering every game starting on the 5th of August from 5:55. Our first two fixtures, Shakhtar Donetsk versus Wolfsburg and FC Copenhagen versus Istanbul Basaksehir. 8 p.m. kickoffs are Man United versus Las Linz, 5-0 up, of course. And then the first of our 2 round of 16 single leg fixtures between Inter Milan and Getafe. And then the day afterwards, we've got 4 more fixtures at 5:55 and 8 p.m. The early kickoffs are Bayer Leverkusen versus Rangers, Leverkusen 3-1 up and at home. Sevilla and AS Roma, the other single leg fixture. And then the evening fixtures are FC Basel, the 3-0 up against Frankfurt. Maybe we could have a shock on our hands, who knows. And then Wolves against Olympiacos, 1-1 in that game. So you can keep your eyes out for those ones coming up in the next 4 days. And then as for the Champions League, we've got every single match. We'll be covering every game live. We've got the round of 16 games coming up the 7th and 8th of August. Juventus and Olympic Lyon and Manchester City versus Real Madrid. They're on the 7th of August. And then FC Bayern Chelsea and Barcelona versus Napoli available on the 8th of August. Every game will be live. There will be live streams for every single match, so you'll have the ability for the first time on our channel to choose which game you would like to watch the watch-along of, to keep your eyes out for that. So thank you very much, Rowan. Greatly appreciated for joining me today.
Thank you for inviting me, Josh. It was a good game.
It was a great game.
Full of shock, drama, poor officiating, poor teams, performances. But yeah, very good game. Roll on the Europa League.
Absolutely, indeed. We'll be back.
Also, tune in Monday, because remember, it's probably the only chance to promote it when you're here. Monday, tier list. This week I'm on it. Me and Kieran, carrying on with my WWE theme. We're doing WWE themes. So tune in for that. That'll promote the tier list.
Well worth check out.
The Wednesdays.
And then we've got a brand new series starting as well on Monday too. Another new show. Of course, we know the transfer window is now open. Kieran D is going to be back again. He's going to be doing a brand new transfer kind of, not necessarily daily show. It's going to be every couple of days. A new transfer window show looking at all of the new deals going on across Europe, as well as the transfer rumours. So keep your eyes out for that. That's going to be Kieran D. Keeping you up to date with all the transfers. But yeah, we've got plenty of more content to come. All the podcasts, all of the watch-alongs. It really is a busy time in August, of course, specifically as well for the football. It's going to get wild. So as I said, thank you, Rome, once again. We'll be back for our football watch-alongs. The 5th of August will be live with our watch-alongs. There's going to be 2 going on at once on the channel. So you've got the choice on which one you would like to watch, so keep your eyes out for that. But we'll be back with other sporting content on the channel. If you're new, as always, do leave a like and a subscription.